The struggling author Chen Zhou was so angry after reading book reviews that he unwittingly became the villain system 95,666. Before he could even figure out what was going on, he was thrown into doing missions. Villain system 95,666. That name won't do, it's not imposing enough. When you're out in the world, you give yourself a name. In an instant, Chen Zhou changed his name to the Destiny Villain System, thus embarking on the path of reaping the favored ones. God of War World, what? You're the God of War. What a coincidence, I Wang am also the God of War. You have an army of 100,000. Hee, how about some advanced technology from a major power? The world of divine healers, you're a divine healer. Let me check your medical license. Education, what? You don't even have an elementary school diploma. You can't even tell me your apprenticeship. A nobody with no qualifications, who do you think you are? Post-apocalyptic world. Rebirth? So what if you're reborn? It just means more combat experience like everyone else has that. You have fire-based abilities. Sorry, I only have lightning abilities with some involvement in space and time. A world of strange rules. One with a selection prompt system, the other with infinite resurrections. Excuse me, my system helped me become a heavenly lord. Fellow Taoists, please join my human emperor's banner. Fantasy world. I was born into the lineage of the great emperor, and I was born with the bloodline of a true dragon. At worst, I'll just sink the central plains. A world where spiritual energy is revived. All spirits cultivate immortality and sparrows devour dragons. What? You can infinitely devour and evolve. Sorry, System Daddy, give me some points. Just now, seeing all the 2-star reviews and thinking about the 3 cents he'd earned that day, Chen Zhou felt a rush of heat to his head. His eyelids grew heavier and heavier. Is it over just like that? I'm so unwilling. These were Chen Zhou's last words. Snap. A crisp sound came from the simple room. The end. Where is this? Wasn't I dead? Chen Zhou dazedly tried to reach out. I didn't feel anything. Where are my hands? Chen Zhou exclaimed in shock. He looked down, beautiful. There were no feet. His body was suspended in mid-air. A transparent, dark purple sphere inexplicably appeared in Chen Zhou's mind. Is that ball his? As Chen Zhou was still reeling from the shock, a cold voice boomed in his ear. System 95,666. The villain department is short of a system. Go and carry out a mission. The voice struck Chen Zhou like a heavy hammer, leaving him so shocked he could barely breathe. Chen Zhou stared wide-eyed at the source of the sound, trying to make out the speaker's face, but he only caught a blurry figure. A mysterious spatial vortex suddenly appeared in front of Chen Zhou. The vortex emitted a strange light, as if it possessed an endless attraction. Before Chen Zhou could react, the vortex swallowed him up with lightning speed. Chen Zhou felt a blur before his eyes, and his body was pulled by a powerful force, instantly losing his sense of his surroundings. When Chen Zhou opened his eyes again, he found himself in an unfamiliar space, with a ball of light emitting a warm white glow in front of him. Chen Zhou glanced at the delicious-looking orb that made the system feel hungry, and instantly refined it. Refining the light sphere allowed the immense amount of information to subtly and silently become a part of Chen Zhou's memory. After consuming all this information, Chen Zhou finally understood his current identity, Villain System 95,666. The Time and Space Administration's Villainous Execution Department Newcomer System, number 95,666, is an internship system. Why is it called an internship system? Because if the internship tasks fail to meet the targets, the system will be revoked and destroyed and thrown into the animal realm. Internship task objectives. Complete 3 tasks. Failure is allowed, but 3 consecutive failures are not permitted. If you can't even complete your tasks properly, what kind of system are you? You might as well be a pig. This is a line from the internship task description. Upon seeing this, Chen Zhou was amused by the comment. Indeed, the internship tasks were all tasks that met the system's requirements. If he couldn't even complete these, he might as well become a pig, eat happily for a year, and wait to be reincarnated. Villain system interesting? Chen Zhou chuckled. I don't really like the code name, Villain System 95,666. So from today onwards, I am the Great Villain System of Destiny. Chen Zhou changed his name to one that sounded incredibly cool. There's an old saying in my hometown. When you're away from home, you give yourself your own identity. Without a powerful name, how can you intimidate those foolish hosts? The villain system's basic abilities include, but are not limited to, copying, mirroring, enhancement, foresight, purification, objectification, weakening, storage, and breaking the intelligence-reducing aura. As the system level is upgraded, the authority it possesses will increase, eventually enabling functions such as freezing time and rewinding time. Most importantly, the system is a data-energy aggregate life form. As long as its own energy is not exhausted, it will not die, which is equivalent to a form of immortality. According to the general rules of system specifications, the Time and Space Administration divides system authority into 6 levels: primary system, intermediate system, advanced system, super system, top system, and main system, main god. The authority of each level is vastly different. After completing the internship, you will automatically become a junior system, and then a formal system of the Time and Space Administration. Like many villainous systems in novels, its role is to bind to villains in the world, suppress the chosen ones, and strip them of their destiny. Luck is mainly divided into 3 categories: personal luck, the luck of all living beings, and the luck of heaven and earth. Personal luck is the most common, while the luck of all living beings is relatively rare. The most common types are national luck and race luck. As for the luck of heaven and earth, it arises in response to calamities and fights for all things in heaven and earth. Thinking about all this, Chen Zhou felt no discomfort. If the villains didn't steal it, were they going to borrow it? I'm so hungry, Chen Zhou sighed with a distressed expression. Having been a system for 3 days, he hadn't even managed to get a single drop of energy. If he didn't start doing missions soon, he'd probably become the first system in the world to starve to death. Having refined the light sphere in an instant, Chen Zhou was very familiar with his current work. Although he had not yet tried his own abilities, the operating method was already ingrained in his subconscious, so it would not be difficult to follow suit. You might not be very skilled at first, but it's not a big deal. At most, you'll be a few seconds slower, which is not a big problem. Select a plane. Chen Zhou began his first operation, following the steps he remembered. Internship mission: the return of the Western God of War to the city. The God of War in the Western Paradise, the God of War world? Not bad, Chen Zhou murmured. A familiar memory was awakened. The crooked-mouthed God of War. A mysterious phone call reveals that the God of War's 3-year-old daughter is living in a pigsty, and his young wife has been humiliated. Enraged, the God of War commands an army of 100,000 to march on China, where they build him a giant pigsty too. No, Chen Zhou quickly shook his head, almost getting confused by those exploding things. He's either chasing sales targets or building pigsties. If the plot were really that outrageous, we wouldn't need him. Chen Zhou quickly categorized the memories, putting the most explosive ones into a file processor. It's much better now, Chen Zhou said with a sigh of relief. Chen Zhou opened a spatial passage. Western Heaven War God, I've arrived, hehe tilde. In an instant, Chen Zhou arrived in the mission world. Beep, a healthy and suitable candidate has been detected, meeting the binding requirements. Binding successful. The Destiny Villain system is now bound. Host Wang Heianen. System. Upon hearing this voice, Wang Heianen, who was already in a great mood lying on the bed, suddenly sat up, his eyes wide open, his face full of disbelief. He couldn't help but reach out and pinch his thigh. A sharp pain shot through him, making him gasp, but it also proved that this was not a dream. I really have a system now, Wang Heianen muttered to himself in disbelief. As a rich second-generation heir who travels all over the country for fun, and also an avid reader of online novels, he knows quite a bit about the cheat code system. But when it actually happened to him, he still found it hard to believe. After all, how could a system suddenly appear in the real world? However, the facts were right in front of him, leaving him no choice but to believe them. Wang Heianen took a deep breath, trying to calm himself down, and then attempted to communicate with the system. System, are you there? Soon, a cold, electronic voice rang in his mind. Ding, this system is here. This system has always been here. The Destiny Villain system, protecting its host. Upon receiving the system's response, Wang Heianen immediately became excited. I never imagined I would actually possess a system, and a system that's destined to be a villain. Wait, villain. The Destiny Villain system, am I the villain? Wang Heianen's expression kept changing. Wang Heianen quickly adjusted his mindset. So what if I'm a villain? At least I have a system. System, can you tell me why I'm the villain? Wang Heianen quickly adapted. Wang Heianen adapted faster than Chen Zhou had anticipated, but Chen Zhou remained calm. Beep, initiating future memory transfer. Chapter 2, call the police immediately with a backhand. Hiss, The overwhelming amount of information made Wang Heianen instinctively cover his head. After a long while, Wang Heianen slowly recovered, opened his eyes, looked at himself in the mirror in disbelief, and murmured, "I'm a villain in the early stages. Tang Weiwei is the female lead. Because of Tang Weiwei, I was crippled by Xiao Fan. According to the future memories provided by the system, in 1 hour, the Western Heaven War god Xiao Fan will return to China and bring his 3-year-old daughter to attack him. There's still 1 hour left. What should I do?" Wang Heianen was restless and anxious. Xiao Fan is the palace master of the Western Heaven Battle Hall, a war god-level expert. His bodyguards are no match for him. As for Tang Weiwei, he had been chasing her for so long without success, so she definitely wouldn't help him in this matter. It was all because of that beastly Tang family that they threw a 3-year-old girl into the pigsty. If the system hadn't informed him, he would still be completely in the dark. Wang Heianen thought the Tang family would at most take Tang Weiwei's daughter home to blackmail her. He never imagined the Tang family would be so despicable, throwing a 3-year-old child into a pigsty to eat swill, and then making him take the blame. Thinking of this, Wang Heianen was so angry that his face turned red on the spot. Wang Heianen doesn't consider himself a good person, but he's definitely not a bad one. He has his own principles. At most, his womanizing might be a moral issue, but all his girlfriends were won over through honest and fair means. "System, do you have any good ideas?" Wang Heianen thought for a while, but still couldn't come up with a good solution. 1 hour is too short a time frame. There's simply not enough time unless you call the police. Call the police? Wang Heianen's mind suddenly lit up. Why didn't he think of that before? He wasn't involved in the kidnapping. He could have simply called the police and asked law enforcement to demand the kidnappers from the Tang family. If Tang Weiwei's daughter is rescued ahead of time, that idiot Xiao Fan will definitely look for her. Taking advantage of this time, he can reason with her, appeal to her emotions, and first bring Tang Weiwei to his side to temporarily appease Xiao Fan, and then proceed with his plan. Perfect. System, I've got it, I've got it. Wang Heianen was overjoyed. Chen Zhou was about to give Wang Heianen a newbie gift pack when he heard Wang Heianen's words, so he decisively clicked, "Withdraw." That's right, since there's no newbie gift pack to help us break this deadlock, let's just consider the newbie gift pack as a reward for completing the task. Having just become a system user, Chen Zhou was extremely poor. The 2 intelligence-reducing halos he had just acquired were barely enough to fill his stomach. "I'm still feeling a bit hungry. I'm out of energy. What a miserable life. Boo-hoo." Ding, it's good that the host has a solution. Chen Zhou gave a perfunctory reply. "Okay." Wang Heianen picked up the phone with a relaxed expression. "Director Zhang, this is Wang Heianen. I need your help with something." "Young Master Wang, you flatter me. It's an honor for Jiang Cheng to have you here. Please, young Master Wang, just let me know what you need, and I, Zhang, will handle it perfectly." Director Zhang patted his chest and assured him. The Wang family in Beijing has been kind to Director Zhang. As the saying goes, a drop of kindness deserves a spring of gratitude. Now that young Master Wang is in trouble, it is time for him to repay his kindness. "Director Zhang, you know Tang Weiwei from the Tang family, right? Her daughter, Tang Lil, has been kidnapped." "What? In broad daylight, under the clear sky? These despicable human traffickers are truly wicked." "Don't worry, young Master Wang. I will investigate thoroughly and punish them severely, giving the people of Jiangcheng an explanation." Director Zhang angrily agreed. Kidnapping is a very serious matter in China. Even without Mr. Wang's confession, Director Zhang would have cracked down on it severely if he knew about it. That's the bottom line. "Xiao Li, notify all squads to mobilize and find Tang Lil as quickly as possible. If necessary, kill the perpetrators." "Yes." After hanging up the phone, Wang Heianen finally breathed a sigh of relief. In modern society, the law still applies. Little did they know, in some other space, a large, pale purple orb of light was basking in its own light, displaying an aura of intellectual impairment. This brain-depressing halo tastes pretty good, quite crispy." With that, Chen Zhou showed off the mini version of the brain-depressing halo again. These brain-degrading halos may not be as big as those on Wang Heianen and Tang Weiwei, but they are numerous and appealing. As he ate, Chen Zhou devoured all the intelligence-degrading halos in the entire China. "Attention all units. Attention all units. An unidentified flying object has been spotted in the southwest. An unidentified flying object has been spotted in the southwest. Roger, received. Anti-aircraft missiles have locked on. This is China. This is China. Please leave immediately. Please leave immediately. I am Xiao Fan. the war god of the Western Heavens and lord of the Western Heavens War Palace. If you are in China on business and delay my time, you will bear the consequences. Xiao Fan's domineering aura was on full display. These words sent shockwaves throughout the Western Theater Command. Good lad, what a big mouth. Use a special missile to shoot him down. Our great nation of China will not tolerate any invasion. General, the Western Heaven War Palace has always been on good terms with us. Could there be other reasons why the Western Heaven War God has entered China? I don't care what the reason is. Being on good terms is one thing, but illegally entering the country and violating our national prestige, whoever it is, will be punished. Yes, the great nation of China, one of the world's 5 great philanthropists. If we allow the Western Heaven Battle Hall to enter at will today, will other countries that have established diplomatic relations with us also be able to enter at will in the future? Not an inch of our national territory will be yielded. Those who offend China, no matter how far away, will be punished. If the Western Heaven War Palace wants trouble, let them come. I want to see how many of my heavily armed combined arms brigades this so-called rat from the Western underworld can withstand, the border marshal roared. Watching the departing plane, Xiao Fan revealed his signature crooked smile. Suddenly, Xiao Fan felt a strong sense of crisis. Oh no, Xiao Fan exclaimed in alarm. Boom! Several supersonic special missiles hit Xiao Fan's plane. Ding! Xiao Fan, the chosen one of destiny, has been hit by a specially designed anti-aircraft missile and is seriously injured. 1,000 luck points have been deducted. The host has gained 10,000 villain points and has 69,000 luck points remaining. Xiao Fan's panel. Name, Xiao Fan, God of War of the Western Heavens. Gender, male. Age, 28. Combat strength, God of War level. Faction, Western Heaven Battle Hall. Technique, the unbeatable secret. Luck value, 69,000, originally 70,000. Luck level, white. System, what happened to Xiao Fan? Did he die before even starting his mission? This didn't happen in my previous life. Wang Heianen was completely bewildered. Before he could even make a move, Xiao Fan was blown up by a missile. Ding, host, this system recently dispelled the intelligence-degrading aura surrounding everyone in China, which is why Xiao Fan was shot down by border guards. System is awesome. Chen Zhou remained silent. After all, his previous actions were unintentional. Who could have imagined that the Chinese military would be so ruthless, allowing Xiao Fan to be hit by several missiles? He noted this down in his notebook. System, do I have a system panel? After looking at Xiao Fan's personal data, Wang Heianen suddenly wanted to see his own as well. Let the system check if there are any problems with your body, and treat them in advance if so. Ding, yes, host. Host panel. Name, Wang Heianen. Gender, male. Age, 25. Combat strength, insignificant, slightly better than an average person. Power, the royal family of the capital. Technique, none. Villain value, 10,000. Items, none. Ifold. After seeing the results, Wang Heianen felt somewhat disheartened by the comparison, but he was very satisfied that the person was in good health and had no problems. Squeak tilde, just then the bathroom door opened. The young woman, Tang Weiwei, wrapped in a bath towel, reluctantly stepped out of the bathroom. P.S. The levels of one's luck are divided into white, red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. Chapter 3, Tang Weiwei. Wang Heianen, I'm done showering, you can go take a shower too. Tang Weiwei nervously clutched her sexy nightgown, a hint of panic clearly in her voice. Wang Heianen calmly and intently re-examined Tang Weiwei, whose body was trembling slightly, clearly showing fear. Tang Weiwei is indeed very beautiful. Her looks and figure are impeccable, making her a stunning beauty capable of captivating a nation. In the original timeline, influenced by his lustful nature and the aura of decreased intelligence, Wang Heianen followed Tang Weiwei's advice and went to take a shower, at which point Xiao Fan arrived. Seeing this, Xiao Fan instantly flew into a rage, gave Wang Heianen a severe beating, and rendered him impotent. Are you scared? Upon hearing Wang Heianen's words, Tang Weiwei froze, terrified. How could she not be terrified? But what's the use of being afraid? Those beasts in the Tang family are using her daughter to blackmail her. What can she do? Tang Weiwei nodded slightly, a hint of sadness flashing in her eyes. Wang Heianen, I don't need your pretense. If you don't want to wash, then start. After saying that, Tang Weiwei lay down on the bed with a blank expression, slowly closed her eyes, and a tear slid down her cheek. Just consider it as being taken advantage of by a pig. Tang Weiwei silently repeated this sentence in her heart, her heart filled with bitterness. Looking at Tang Weiwei, who seemed utterly hopeless, Wang Heianen stood by the bed, gazing at her silently. "I've had Director Zhang handle your daughter's matter. I believe he should have found her by now." Upon hearing this, Tang Weiwei suddenly opened her eyes, staring at Wang Heianen in shock. She never expected that Wang Heianen, who had colluded with those beasts in the Tang family, would actually call the police. Tang Weiwei had considered calling the police, but given the Tang family's extensive network of connections, she knew that if she did, the matter would likely end without any resolution. "Don't look at me like that. Although I, Wang Heianen, am not exactly a good person, I would never stoop to kidnapping or coercing someone to get a woman. I was unaware of the Tang family kidnapping your daughter. You can leave now." Wang Heianen's eyes were calm and expressionless. Tang Weiwei was extremely shocked. She didn't expect Wang Heianen to say such a thing, and she didn't believe that Wang Heianen was unaware of the situation. However, Tang Weiwei ultimately didn't say anything. Whether Wang Heianen had a change of heart or for other reasons, the matter is now considered closed. She didn't have to compromise, and her daughter could return to her side peacefully. The matter was over. Thank you," Tang Weiwei finally managed to utter. Wang Heianen remained silent. It wasn't that he really wanted to give up the duck he was about to catch, but the matter was complicated. He had just called the police, and Director Zhang would definitely bring people to take Tang Lil here. It would be awkward if the matter wasn't over when the enforcement team arrived. Of course, the most important thing is that Wang Heianen has his own principles, and coercion is not in line with his style of doing things. "Why don't you change your clothes back first?" Wang Heianen pointed to Tang Weiwei's attire. Upon hearing Wang Heianen's words, Tang Weiwei finally realized what was happening and hurriedly ran back to the bathroom with an embarrassed expression. "System, do you think I did the right thing or the wrong thing?" Wang Heianen asked, confused. Chen Zhou was taken aback. How should I put it? Chen Zhou wasn't a particularly vicious person. Having just become a system, he couldn't be ruthless. To maintain the system's prestige, Chen Zhou tried to say as little as possible, and to avoid saying anything at all, leaving things for the host to figure out. "Host, as long as your conscience is clear, that's enough." Chen Zhou gave a perfunctory reply. Hearing the words of the Destiny villain system, Wang Heianen felt much more relaxed. He was born into the royal family of Beijing, a family with a 1,000-year history. His grandfather was a founding hero, and the family had a profound heritage. He received the best education from a young age, and he had an outstanding older brother, so his parents were not strict with him. The only requirement is to abide by the law, and not to do anything wrong or cause trouble. For Wang Heianen, anything that can be solved with money is not a big deal. Tang Weiwei is beautiful, but Wang Heianen, whose IQ has returned to normal, knows how to make choices. Tang Weiwei is not worth the risk for Wang Heianen. In the blink of an eye, Tang Weiwei, having changed her clothes, walked out of the bathroom and bowed deeply to Wang Heianen. "Young Master Wang, thank you for your help with Lil's matter. I will definitely repay you if I have the opportunity in the future." Wang Heianen smiled and waved his hand. "Miss Tang, you don't need to be so polite. I never expected the Tang family to be so heartless as to threaten you with the child's matter." In the future memories provided by the system, Xiao Fan later attacked the Tang family. The Tang family insisted that Wang Heianen was responsible for kidnapping Tang Lil and that it had nothing to do with them. Therefore, Wang Heianen was also very blunt when talking about the Tang family. "Young Master Wang, you don't need to blame yourself. This isn't your fault. Blame those old fogies in the Tang family," Tang Weiwei said angrily. Tang Weiwei's impression of Wang Heianen changed considerably. Although he was lecherous, he still had some principles. At least he didn't take advantage of others in distress. "Let's not talk about it anymore. Let's go down to the living room and wait. I think it won't be long before Director Zhang brings Lil here safely." "Okay," Tang Weiwei nodded. The two left the second-floor bedroom and went to the first-floor living room one after the other. Just then, the doorbell of the villa rang. "Miss Tang, please sit here for a while. I'll go open the door," Wang Heianen said politely. Because Wang Heianen had sent the villa's maids and bodyguards away, there was no one else in the villa, so Wang Heianen had to open the door himself. "No need, young Master Wang. I really want to see Lil right now. I'll go with you." "Okay," Wang Heianen was not surprised. Anyway, he was just being polite. Whether Tang Weiwei went or not wouldn't make a difference. Upon seeing Wang Heianen, Director Zhang excitedly strode forward, a fawning smile on his face. "Young Master Wang, why did you come to open the door yourself? You're too kind," Director Zhang said, extending his hands warmly to shake Wang Heyanen's hands tightly. Wang Heyanen smiled politely. "Director Zhang, what are you saying? I, Wang Heyanen, am just an ordinary person and a junior at that. It's nothing for me to open the door." "Lil," Tang Weiwei ran over excitedly and hugged the little girl next to the female law enforcement officer. "Mommy, mommy," the little girl cried, feeling wronged. "Lil, be good, Lil, mommy's here." Tang Weiwei gently patted her daughter's back. Seeing Lil crying, Tang Weiwei realized something was wrong. "By the way, Lil, tell mommy if Grandpa's family has bullied you." "No, so Grandpa didn't bully Lil." Tang Lil immediately stopped crying. The law enforcement officers watching this scene couldn't help but get a little teary-eyed, and some of them even clenched their fists. What a good child, choosing to lie and hide the fact that he was being abused so as not to hurt his mother. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they would never have believed that there were such inhuman relatives in the world. The Tang family were nothing but beasts, worse than pigs and dogs. They threw a 3-year-old girl into a pigsty where she could only eat swill when she was hungry and huddle in a corner when she was cold. P.S. Villain value conversion ratio. 1,000 luck value equals 100,000 villain value. 1,000 luck values equals 1 origin point. 1 source point equals 100,000 villain values. Chapter 4, The Views of the Imperial High Command. "Captain Jiang, what are you doing here?" Wang Heyanen turned around and looked at Jiang Kaiangxia in her uniform behind him. Jiang Kaiangxia stared intently at Wang Heyanen, her tone serious. "Wang Heyanen, does this have anything to do with you?" Wang Heyanen looked calmly at Jiang Kaiangxia, the captain of the Jiangcheng Law Enforcement Bureau and the only daughter of the Jiang family in the provincial capital. According to the memories provided by the system, Jiang Kaiangxia didn't have many scenes with him. However, based on his years of experience reading novels, Wang Heyanen judged that Jiang Kaiangxia must have been an important figure in the early days of Xiao Fan, the chosen one of destiny. In the original timeline, after being crippled, Wang Heyanen lost his mind and launched a frenzied revenge against Xiao Fan, using the Wang family's subsidiary in Jiangcheng as a base. Several times, Jiang Kaiangxia thwarted their plans, causing them to fail, and Wang Heyanen's men were arrested by Jiang Kaiangxia. The arrest was fine, but the key point is that none of Xiao Fan's men were touched. They were also from the underground forces, but Xiao Fan's men were ignored, and only he was targeted. He claimed it was for justice, but Wang Heyanen just laughed. Thinking of all this, Wang Heyanen coldly replied, "No. No, that's true." Although Wang Heyanen in the original timeline was a bit of a scoundrel, the Tang family only told him about Tang Weiwei. "Don't worry, young Master Wang, leave Tang Weiwei's matter to us." Who knew that the Tang family would use Tang Lil to threaten her, and even throw her into the pigsty? "What a beast." "No, then why did Tang Weiwei come to find you?" Jiang Kaiangxia questioned seriously. "Looking for me? How would I know why? The Tang family only told me that Tang Weiwei had agreed, but I didn't know that she had been threatened by the Tang family until Tang Weiwei arrived. After learning that Tang Lil had been taken away by members of the Tang family, I called the police." "Is Captain Jiang satisfied with this explanation?" Wang Heyanen calmly stated the facts. Jiang Kaiangxia was speechless for a moment. Jiang Kaiangxia also knew about the Tang family's efforts to curry favor with Wang Heyanen, and at the same time, she was also aware that what Wang Heyanen said was mostly true. Based on Jiang Kaiangxia's understanding of Wang Heyanen, he was indeed incapable of doing something as brainless as kidnapping and threatening someone. "Jiang Kaiangxia, instead of coming here to question me, you should think of a way to take down those underground forces in Jiangcheng." Wang Heyanen's tone grew increasingly dissatisfied, his gaze like two sharp swords piercing Jiang Kaiangxia's heart. Jiang Kaiangxia was shocked and realized that what she had done was indeed inappropriate. She took a deep breath and tried to calm herself down. "I'm sorry, Wang Heyanen, I misunderstood you. However, as a friend, I advise you to tone it down a bit and not disappoint your aunt and uncle again." Jiang Kaiangxia knew she couldn't change Wang Heyanen's mind, but after all, they were childhood friends, and she still hoped that Wang Heyanen could see the error of his ways. Wang Heyanen smiled slightly, not taking Jiang Kaiangxia's words to heart. The meeting ended on bad terms. "Xiao Fan, our contest begins." Wang Heyanen calmly looked at himself in the mirror. Wang Heyanen said those words on purpose. He deliberately provoked Jiang Kaiangxia and lured her to clean up the underworld. With Jiang Kaiangxia's background, wiping out Jiangcheng would be a piece of cake, and there would be no danger. Jiang Kaiangxia's grandfather was an old subordinate of Wang Heoren's grandfather, and the two spent some time together when they were young. As for the events that occurred in the memories given by the Destiny Villain system, he didn't really blame Jiang Kaiengxia. The only thing that angered him was that Jiang Kaiengxia only targeted him for this. Revenge is unrealistic. The older generation of the two families were comrades in arms. Besides, in the original timeline, Grandpa Jiang also did his best to help the Wang family. He did not do anything to wrong his old leader. Ultimately, because of the Wang family, Old Master Jiang also met a tragic end in his later years. Based on this, Wang Heianen could not possibly repay kindness with enmity. However, if Jiang Kaiengxia causes him trouble again in this life, he will go to Old Master Jiang to propose marriage and perish together with Jiang Kaiengxia. On the other side, Xiao Fan was panting heavily. Damn it! I didn't expect this special missile to be so powerful. If I hadn't jumped out of the plane in time, I would have been seriously injured. Xiao Fan stared fiercely at the distant primeval jungle. Xiao Fan, will remember this grudge. Xiao Fan coldly uttered a harsh remark, and then headed towards Jiangcheng. At this moment, Xiao Fan had only one thought in his mind: to return to Jiangcheng as soon as possible and save his wife and daughter. Damn Imperial Border Guard General! If you hadn't ordered my plane destroyed, I would have been back in Jiangcheng long ago. If even a single hair on my daughter's head were to fall, don't blame me, Xiao Fan, for turning my back on you. Xiao Fan cursed inwardly. Xiao Fan was furious about the other side launching missiles. He had informed the other party of his purpose before returning, which was to offer a gift. He never expected that the other party would be so ungrateful as to launch a missile attack on him, a young man in his 20s. Xiao Fan had spent his life on the battlefield and believed he had done enough for the Empire, but he never expected to end up like this. If the Empire does not give him a satisfactory explanation, he will lead his 100,000-strong army to the Empire to seek justice for himself. With time running out, Xiao Fan temporarily suppressed these thoughts and focused all his energy on traversing mountains and rivers and passing through cities along the way. He will make those who harmed his family pay the price and let them know the wrath of the god of war of the Western Paradise. The thought of his daughter living in a pigsty and his wife being kidnapped brought tears to Xiao Fan's eyes. Time was what he lacked most right now. Imperial Supreme Council. Elder, how should we handle Xiao Fan's matter? An elder asked calmly. Xiao Fan has done a lot for us outside. If we don't give him a satisfactory explanation, we're afraid we'll break his heart, the fifth elder said, stepping forward. Explain? Why should we explain to him? Everyone, don't forget, it was Xiao Fan who maliciously intruded into our Empire's airspace first, which is why little Li ordered the attack. The third elder stepped forward and retorted. Xiao Fan also said he had important matters to attend to, so it's understandable. The fifth elder continued to explain. Excusable circumstances. What can't be discussed beforehand? Or is it that the Imperial authorities are untrustworthy and Xiao Fan can't go through the proper procedures? The sixth elder also stepped forward at this moment. If we can just barge into the Imperial territory with the excuse of, I have important business to attend to, then we might as well not bother with border defenses at all. So many countries have diplomatic relations with us, and each of them has important business to attend to. Are we just going to let them all in? The fourth elder shouted sternly. Xiao Fan did help us, but don't forget, we also secretly provided the weapons to the Western Heaven Battle Hall. We don't owe him anything at all, the second elder stated impartially. I agree with fourth elder's view. The dignity of the nation cannot be disregarded, and the glory of the Empire cannot be challenged, second elder continued. Fifth brother, I know Xiao Fan saved you before, but public and private matters are separate. We can temporarily set aside the matter of Xiao Fan's intrusion, but if he commits any further offenses within the Empire, I will punish him severely. The first elder made the final decision. Hearing the first elder's words, the fifth elder stopped speaking up for Xiao Fan. By the way, have you found out why Xiao Fan entered the Empire? The grand elder asked, turning to ask. Elder, the matter has been investigated. It was Xiao Fan's daughter who was kidnapped, but this matter has been resolved by Wang Heianen, the grandson of Elder Wang. When the elders thought of Wang Yuanlao, Wang Shengyuan, a sense of respect appeared in their eyes. Tell me more. I heard this kid is quite lecherous and goes out to play every day. I didn't expect him to actually do something decent this time. Good. After the seventh elder finished recounting the whole story, everyone's expressions changed. It seems the Empire needs another thorough cleanup. A chilling glint appeared in the Grand Elder's usually placid eyes. Chapter 5, New Self-Destructing Doll. While the Empire's top brass was holding a meeting, Wang Heiyanen was certainly not idle either. Shortly after sending Zhang Kaiengxia away, Wang Heiyanen dialed the number of his bodyguard, Black Tiger Afu, and said, "Afu, bring your men back right now. I have something to tell you." "Yes, young master," Afu replied immediately. "Hey guys, stop playing around. The young master has something to tell you. Come back with me." "Okay, Tiger." 15 or 16 tall, burly men stood up and walked out of the bar. "What's wrong with these people? Why did they just leave like that? Do you still want the drinks we just ordered? If not, I can take them." A spirited young man called out symbolically. Seeing that no one spoke, the energetic young man skillfully pocketed the drinks that Afu and his group had ordered. "Those people look like bodyguards. They probably got a call from their employer and were asked to go back to work overtime," a bespectacled man confidently analyzed. "Why worry about all that? Keep playing the music and dancing." Everyone nodded in agreement, and soon the bar returned to its usual noisy state, with no one discussing Afu and the others' identities anymore. "System, do you have any good recommendations for dealing with Xiao Fan?" Wang Heiyanen asked earnestly. "Current situation. Tang Lil was rescued by his intervention, and Tang Weiwei took Tang Lil home. It's late at night, and there won't be any major changes on Tang Weiwei's side for the time being. Those guys from the Tang family are probably cursing me behind my back because of my calling the police, but they don't dare to do anything underhanded because of the Wang family's power. The only one still active is Xiao Fan, who was shot down by a missile and whose specific situation is unknown. If nothing unexpected happens, Xiao Fan will definitely run to the pigsty where Tang Lil used to be, and this is a good opportunity. Self-destruct doll. 5,000 villain points can 100% simulate the target the user wants to simulate. High cost effectiveness and wide range of uses. 10 fragrance power dissipating powder, 2,000 villain points. Instantly dissipates a martial artist's power, rendering them incapacitated. Excellent value for money. You deserve to have it. Fusion and enhancement device. 2,000 villain points. Can perfectly fuse and enhance 2 low-tier items, such as fusing a self-destructing doll and a 10 fragrance power dissipating powder. God of War Tranquilizer Gun. 1,000 villain points. A powerful specially formulated anesthetic with a strong numbing effect. One shot can take down a God of War, provided it hits. Chenzhou quickly launched 4 items that met Wang Heiyanen's villainous criteria. Self-destructing doll. 10 fragrance power dissipating powder, fusion and sublimation device, War God anesthetic gun. Wang Heiyanen's eyes widened as he carefully examined the items recommended by the Destiny villain system. The self-destructing doll can be used to simulate the appearance of Xiao Fan's daughter and lure Xiao Fan into a trap. The 10 fragrances depletion powder is highly effective, but its drawback is that it is not easy to administer. However, by combining it with the fusion sublimation device and the self-destructing doll, this disadvantage can be perfectly avoided. The War God Tranquilizer Gun is powerful, and Afu and his men are all excellent marksmen. However, Xiao Fan is a War God level expert, so there is a high chance they will miss. The effect is somewhat useless, but it can be used to deal with Xiao Fan's subordinates. These 4 items together amount to exactly 10,000 villain points. "Buy them all, I'll buy them all." Wang Heiyanen didn't hesitate and bought them all in one go. Ding, purchase successful. 10,000 villain points deducted from the host. Congratulations, host, you have obtained. Self-destruct doll X1, 10 fragrance power lowering powder X1, fusion and sublimation device X1, War God anesthetic gun X1, disposable. Upon seeing the label, Wang Heiyanen couldn't help but twitch his lips, inwardly complaining. "System, why is the War God Tranquilizer Gun a disposable item? I spent 1,000 villain points to redeem this, and it's my only chance. What if I miss?" "Ding, host, you get what you pay for. You offered 1,000 villain points, so naturally you can only fire 1 shot." Hearing this, Wang Heiyanen was furious and said, "Fine, fine, how do you want to play, huh?" 6. System, does the War God Tranquilizer Gun become a regular tranquilizer gun after firing the tranquilizer bullet? Ding, host, don't worry. After the War God Tranquilizer dart is fired, the War God Tranquilizer gun will automatically disintegrate at an opportune time. Host, don't worry about leaving any traces. What automatic decomposition? It finds its own opportunity. So you spend 1,000 villain points, only to be able to fire 1 shot, and then you run out of guns. Is it really necessary to be so environmentally friendly? After hearing the explanation from the Destiny villain system, Wang Heianen finally understood why the war god anesthesia only cost 1,000 villain points. It turned out it was just a trick to deceive him. 1,000 villain points per hit. The system is indeed the system he knows. It's ruthless enough. Wang Heianen simply stopped thinking about being blacklisted for being worth 1,000 villain points. System used the fusion sublimation device to fuse the self-destructing doll and the 10 fragrance depletion powder. Ding, fusion and sublimation successful. Congratulations, host, you have obtained a new self-destructing doll. A new self-destructing doll. Wang Heianen looked excitedly at the rag doll in front of him. System, how do I use this self-destructing doll? Hold the new self-destructing plush toy in both hands and name the simulated subject. So simple. Wang Heianen was overjoyed. He quickly followed the instructions of the Destiny villain system, held the doll in his hands devoutly, and whispered, "Come out, Tang Liel." Chen Zhou, It seems somewhat familiar. As soon as Wang Heianen finished speaking, the new self-destructing doll quickly grew larger, pried open Wang Heianen's arms, and stood expressionless in front of him. Holy crap, it looks so much like it, Wang Heianen exclaimed in disbelief. Wang Heianen looked left and right, and the height and build were exactly the same. It was as if they were clones made from the same mold. If he hadn't been involved himself, Wang Heianen wouldn't have believed that the girl in front of him was fake. Aside from lacking thought, it's indistinguishable from a real person. System, your doll isn't smart enough, is it? Wang Heianen muttered happily. Host, guess why it's called the self-destruct doll? That's true. Wang Heianen realized that the self-destructing doll, just from the name, was obviously a bomb. It didn't need to be very intelligent. A high level of intelligence meant a higher price. Knock, knock, knock. Just then, a soft knock sounded on the door. Wang Heianen looked up at the door. Ah Fu was standing there grinning. Outside the door, a group of bodyguards stood in neat rows. Young master, all personnel are assembled. Please give your instructions. Wang Heianen nodded calmly. Ah Fu, send 2 men to buy 2 packs of crazy sows. The rest of you get dressed in night clothes and come with me to the southern outskirts of the city. Ah Fu casually pointed to 2 bodyguards and said, You 2, drive out and get 2 packs of crazy sows. Then meet us in the south of the city according to the shared location. Yes, brother Tiger. You guys go to the warehouse and get the night clothes. Okay, Tiger. Oh, and we need to get a drone, the kind used for photography, Wang Heianen added. Yes, young master. Another bodyguard stepped forward. With everything prepared, Wang Heianen glanced at the time. It was almost 9 o'clock, the time when Xiao Fan found his villa in the original timeline. However, this time Xiao Fan was shot down by an anti-aircraft missile, which slowed him down considerably, giving him plenty of time. Let's go, Wang Heianen waved his hand. Under the cover of darkness, the 3 vehicles drove in an orderly fashion towards the south of the city. Chapter 6 Xiao Fan is dumbfounded. Seeing Wang Heianen order the 3-year-old girl into the pigsty, Ah Fu resolutely stepped forward. Young master, stop. I can't just stand by and watch you make a mistake. Ah Fu stared intently at Wang Heianen. He knew that this decision was very likely to provoke Wang Heianen's dissatisfaction, but he could not sit idly by and watch his young master embark on a path of no return. Ha ha ha, Wang Heianen suddenly laughed. Ah Fu, look carefully, this is a robot, not a real person. Huh, everyone looked completely bewildered. Although this little girl sat there coldly the whole way, she didn't look like a robot at all. Wang Heianen knew this was difficult to explain, so he immediately ordered the new self-destructing doll. Liel, do 100 push-ups in 30 seconds. Yes, master. The new self-destructing doll immediately lay down and began doing push-ups at an unbelievable speed. Up and down. The new self-destructing dolls were very fast and moved with perfect precision, executing Wang Heianen's commands in front of everyone at a rate of about 3 per second. Everyone was so shocked they couldn't speak. This is really not human. It's impossible for a human to maintain the same frequency and do 100 push-ups in 30 seconds. This is not something a human could accomplish. The young master was not deceiving them. This little girl is truly not human. Wang Heianen patted Ah Fu on the shoulder. Ah Fu, well done, I'll give you a raise tomorrow. A raise? Ah Fu stood there dumbfounded. The young master had said he'd give him a raise. He had just been thinking that even if the young master fired him, he would stop him from going down a path of no return. Unexpectedly, the young master not only didn't hold it against him for his insubordination, but also gave him a raise. Meeting such a young master was truly a blessing that Ah Fu had accumulated over 3 lifetimes. What Ah Fu didn't know was that in the original timeline, he was beaten to death by Zhuge, one of the 4 great generals of the Western Heaven Battle Hall, in order to protect Wang Heianen. Wang Heianen was naturally generous to such loyal subordinates. The same went for his other loyal bodyguards. As long as they performed well, Wang Heianen would give them raises. All right, Lil, hide in the far right corner. When someone named Xiao Fan hugs you, you self-destruct. Understood, master. Upon hearing the word self-destruct, everyone was startled again. Using such high-tech equipment as a bomb, the young master is truly, incredibly wealthy. They didn't understand why the young master would blow up a guy named Xiao Fan, but there must be a reason why the young master did it. Young master, Cao's Gone Wild has arrived. How do we use it? A bodyguard ran over carrying 2 small bags to report. Put it in the car first. Oh, and you all change into your night clothes too, then retreat together to 2 kilometers away, Wang Heianen ordered sternly. Yes, young master. Soon, Wang Heianen and his group quickly retreated to a place more than 2 kilometers away from the pigsty. Young master, who is Xiao Fan that you need to scheme against? Ah Fu asked in a low voice. You may not recognize the name Xiao Fan, but he has another title, the God of War of the Western Heaven. I have a grudge against him, Wang Heianen said calmly. God of War from the Western Paradise. Upon hearing these 4 words, Ah Fu's body trembled involuntarily. The Western War God, the uncrowned king of the Western underworld, a figure who struck fear into the hearts of the Western underworld. As a martial arts expert, Ah Fu knew this person. However, since this guy is the young master's enemy, then he is also Ah Fu's enemy. We'll address each other by code names in a moment. Our organization is called Desire. I'm the god of desire. Ah Fu is the envoy of desire, and the rest of you are disciples of desire. The code names are your order of joining, understand? Wang Heianen commanded sternly. Yes, Lord Desire God, the group replied in unison in a low voice. Wang Heianen nodded in satisfaction. At present, he lacked the strength to do so, so he could only try to avoid unnecessary risks. Being the 6th brother was the most suitable for him. When he reaches the level of a war god, it will be a completely different story. About an hour later, Xiao Fan finally arrived at the vicinity of the pigsty, where Tang Lil had initially made the phone call, looking disheveled. Xiao Fan was breathing heavily and silently, his forehead covered in sweat, and his clothes were soaked through. Lil, please don't let anything happen to you, Xiao Fan prayed anxiously. Because the plane was shot down, Xiao Fan was delayed for 2.5 hours, and his men on board all perished without a fight. Due to the complex terrain and the need to avoid towns, Xiao Fan ran for 2.5 hours before finally reaching the place where his daughter had sent the distress call. Upon arriving at the suburban pig farm, Xiao Fan calmed down, focused his attention, and used infiltration techniques he had never employed before to slowly infiltrate the pig farm. Strange, there are no guards here. Xiao Fan frowned in confusion, a sense of unease rising in his heart. With no guards around, a terrifying thought crossed Xiao Fan's mind. His daughter had been moved. Damn it! Xiao Fan angrily smashed the hollow brick wall next to him with a punch. Suddenly, Xiao Fan sensed a strange movement. Daddy, Daddy, is that you? A childish voice came from not far away. Xiao Fan was instantly excited. His daughter, the daughter he had been longing for, was all right. Xiao Fan rushed over excitedly. His daughter's voice was a little cold, but Xiao Fan didn't care. He hadn't been back for 5 years, so it was normal for his daughter to hate him. From now on, he can spend every day with his daughter, slowly warming her with his fatherly love, and helping her to accept him as her father again. Thinking of this, Xiao Fan's lips curled up into a wild smile. He thought of the warm life he shared with his wife and daughter, and he didn't care about being called the king of the underworld or the lord of the Western Heaven Battle Hall. Lil, Xiao Fan happily picked up the new self-destructing doll. Looking at the new self-destructing doll's familiar face, Xiao Fan was overjoyed and tears streamed down his face. This was his daughter, his own daughter, Xiao Fan's biological daughter. Her eyes and nose were exactly the same as his mother's. They were practically identical. Thinking of this, Xiao Fan remembered the woman who saved him 5 years ago, Tang Weiwei. That was her name. It was she who selflessly took care of him during his most desperate time, allowing him to regain his confidence. Without her, there would be no him today, no Western war god. I'm Leal, are you my daddy Zyro fan? The new self-destructing doll asked in a trembling, childish voice. Yes, I am. I am your father, Zyro fan. Zyro fan looked at his daughter in his arms, tears of joy streaming down his face. Pa, you scumbag. You abandoned mommy, you abandoned Leal. You don't deserve to be Leal's daddy. The new self-destructing doll struggled and cursed. Hearing this, Zyro fan hugged his daughter, the new self-destructing doll, tightly, heartbroken. It was all his fault. If he had made a phone call even once in the past 5 years, perhaps his daughter wouldn't hate him so much. You're a piece of scum. You abandoned your mother, abandoned Leal, and haven't even called home for 5 years. You don't deserve to be a human being, much less Leal's dad. The new self-destructive doll continued its steady performance. Hearing his daughter's deep resentment towards him, Zyro fan's heart bled and his luck plummeted. Congratulations, host. You have gained 2,000 villain points. Congratulations, host. You have gained 3,000 villain points. Congratulations, host. You have gained 3,000 villain points. I hate you, the new self-destructing doll roared in anger. With lightning speed, it exploded instantly. Thud. Zyro fan lay there, dazed on the excrement in the pigsty, his eyes unfocused. His daughter had exploded. She had really exploded. His big, lovely, sweet, and soft daughter suddenly exploded, leaving him questioning his existence and his mind blank. After a long time, Zyro fan roared inwardly in anger. His internal energy dissipated, his muscles were weak, and he didn't even have the strength to open his mouth. If his eyelids hadn't been open at the beginning, he probably wouldn't be able to open his eyes now. I, Zyro fan, hereby swear that no matter where you are, whether in the heavens or the earth, I, Zyro fan, will kill you. Zyro fan roared in his heart. Just then, a group of masked people dressed in black approached. Chapter 7 0.5 times the combat power of Zyro fan. Zyro fan, the Hall Master of the Western Heaven Battle Hall and the uncrowned king of the Western Underworld. How is it? Are you satisfied with the gift I carefully prepared for you, Lord War? Wang Heyanen, wearing a ghost mask, looked at Zyro fan lying on the ground with a smile. Zyro fan was burning with rage, his eyes fixed on the group of mysterious people dressed in black and wearing ghost masks. You're not saying anything. It seems the god of war is quite satisfied with the gift I prepared. Hearing the other party's words, Zyro fan was extremely angry, but his internal energy had collapsed. His muscles were weak, and he couldn't even open his mouth to speak. Ignoring Zyro fan's murderous gaze, Wang Heyanen continued. I've heard that the god of war possesses unparalleled combat prowess and an unwavering martial spirit. Today, I'd like to witness just how steadfast the god of war's martial spirit truly is. Someone bring up the grand gift we have prepared for the god of war. Yes, Lord God of Desire. Soon, a large, fat pig weighing several hundred pounds was forcibly led over by several mysterious men dressed in black, making discontented grunts. You two go and find another place for the god of war, a Fu commanded in a scholarly tone. Yes, sir. The bodyguard also changed his voice, making it completely emotionless. As his clothes disappeared one by one, Zyro fan's heart sank to the bottom. Fear and desire, please give our god of war a good welcome, and don't let him be disappointed in desire. I will obey the decree of the Lord of Desire. Wang Heyanen nodded in satisfaction, then left the live broadcast. Ding, Zyro fan, the chosen one and god of war of the Western Heaven, has been publicly humiliated. His teeth clenched in fury. 3,000 luck points have been deducted, and the host has gained 30,000 villain points. Ding, Zyro fan, the chosen one and god of war of the Western Heaven, has been publicly humiliated, and his mental state has collapsed. 5,000 luck points have been deducted, and the host has gained 50,000 villain points. Ding, Zyro fan, the chosen one and god of war of the Western Heaven, was forcibly kissed by a pig, shattering his mind and spirit. 2,000 points of luck have been deducted, and the host has gained 20,000 villain points. Beep, Zyro fan, the chosen one and god of war of the Western Heaven. System announcements rang out one after another, and Wang Heyanen's villain value skyrocketed until Zyro fan vomited blood and fainted, at which point the rate of increase in villain value finally stopped. Adding to the damage from the new self-destructing doll, Wang Heyanen's villain value has now reached a height of 230,000. Zyro fan originally had a total of 70,000 luck points, but now he only has 46,000 left. If he hadn't fainted due to the shock of his blood and chi, he would probably have lost several thousand more. Looking at the 21.6 origin points in his hand, Chen Zhou was very excited. 21.6 world origin points was a fairly considerable income. System, I currently have 230,000 villain points. How much cultivation can I exchange for? Looking at the 230,000 villain points in his hand, Wang Heianen remained remarkably calm. System items can only provide temporary relief. If you really want to defy fate, you need to improve your martial arts. Only by surpassing the god of war can you be unafraid of Xiao Fan and truly control your own destiny. Ding host, 200,000 villain points can be exchanged for 0.5 Xiao Fan's combat power. Are you sure you want to exchange them? 0.5 Xiao Fan. Wang Heianen's expression was strange. What kind of unit of measurement is this? 0.5 Xiao Fan? What level of cultivation is this? Noticing Wang Heianen's change in mood, Chen Zhou quickly added, half the combat power of Xiao Fan is roughly equivalent to the upper middle tier of the war god level. Aside from being unable to defeat veteran war gods or even Xiao Fan himself, this combat power would place him in the world's top tier. System, if you had said it was a high-level war god earlier, I would have understood. After hearing the supplement from the Destiny villain system, Wang Heianen finally understood the approximate combat power of 0.5 Xiao Fan. System, exchange. Exchange for the war god cultivation level for me. Ding, 200,000 villain points deducted from the host. 0.5 Xiao Fan cultivation points successfully exchanged. Wang Heianen's aura surged instantly, transforming him into a high-level war god. Among the war gods, there are only about 20 high-level war gods in the entire China, and half of them are still hidden in the shadows. There are currently 68 publicly known war gods in China, including both civilian and official figures. Most of them are ordinary war gods, a few are intermediate war gods, and 9 are advanced war gods. As for the ultimate god of war, there is only one in the entire world at present, namely Wang Heianen's grandfather, Wang Shengyuan. Wang Heianen clenched his fists, feeling the extra power within his body. Now he could easily smash an adult yak with a single punch, and with all his might, he could smash a heavy tank with one punch. No wonder Xiao Fan dares to be so arrogant. With that kind of power, I would be just as arrogant too. Wang Heianen couldn't help but sigh inwardly. This is the god of war, a special being in this world. With such extraordinary power, it's no wonder he dares to disregard the law. This is only 0.5 times Xiao Fan's combat power. The full version of Xiao Fan. I almost forgot, the full version of Xiao Fan was just tricked by himself. Wang Heianen laughed awkwardly, almost bringing Xiao Fan into the picture, and then, wolf annihilation. After adjusting to his body for a while, Wang Hao calmed down. Right now, he only had martial prowess but lacked practical combat experience and skills. His control over his strength was also inconsistent. Sometimes he could steadily grab the tree branch, and sometimes he would accidentally break the stone in his hand, which was a bit of a hassle. After some thought, Wang Heianen decided to seek help from the Destiny villain system. System, is there a shortcut to control power? I'm willing to exchange it for villain points. Ding host, yes. Masterful power control technique, 10,000 villain value. This allows for perfect control of one's power. With it, you won't even have to worry about crushing an ant. Proficient level combat pack, 20,000 villain points. This proficient level combat pack includes abundant combat experience and skills. With it, you can instantly become a top-tier, super-class master. Chen Zhou immediately introduced 2 abilities, suitable for Wang Heianen's villainous value conditions. Upon seeing the price, Wang Heianen remained silent for 3 seconds. Every time it would limit his villain value, the system was truly something else. However, thinking that Xiao Fan would gain even more villain points when he woke up tomorrow, Wang Heianen gritted his teeth and said, "System, I'll buy it." Ding, 30,000 villain values deducted from the host. Proficient level power control techniques and proficient level combat pack successfully purchased. The moment the villain value was deducted, Wang Heianen felt completely relaxed. His control over his body and his perception of the surrounding environment had clearly improved by more than 1 level. The villain's value is a bit expensive, but the effect is very real. With this power control technique, his fighting power will definitely be more enduring. "Ah Fu, have you finished handling the tasks I assigned you?" Wang Heianen, with his keen senses, immediately asked as soon as Ah Fu arrived. "Young master, Xiao Fan has fainted from anger. The live stream on the dark web is going very well. The entire video has already been uploaded to the dark web, along with Xiao Fan's identity information. Everything I know has been edited into the video and uploaded to various websites under multiple usernames. Young master, would you like to take a look? Afu reported earnestly and meticulously. No need. Wang Heianen patted Afu on the shoulder. Afu, I trust you to do things right. Work overtime tonight and see if there are any oversights. Clean them up and don't give anything away. Just kidding, the video content alone would make him nauseous. So Wang Heianen chose not to watch it. Don't worry, young master, all the equipment we use is brand new and imported, and the account was just created. We guarantee no one will find out, Afu assured him earnestly. Wang Heianen nodded. Take the brothers to clean up the traces, relax tonight and put the bill on my tab. Thank you, young master, Afu said quickly. After watching Afu and the others clean up the scene, Wang Heianen gave them a lot of detailed instructions. Only after confirming that nothing had been overlooked did he return to the Tiangxin mountain villa. Chapter 8. One day, the whole world knew of his scheme. As the sun rose high in the sky, Xiao Fan slowly opened his eyes in the warmth of the sunlight. Xiao Fan roared in anger. I'm going to kill you all. Lust, I will slaughter your entire family. Xiao Fan's eyes were bloodshot and his furious roar echoed through the sky. The big fat pig next to him was awakened from its sleep by Xiao Fan's voice and made a satisfied grunt sound, as if in response to Xiao Fan. Bang! Once his mobility was restored, Xiao Fan jumped over and threw a punch. The fat pig was instantly torn to pieces, with fragments flying everywhere. With bloodshot eyes, Xiao Fan smashed things up indiscriminately at the pig farm, venting his rage. After an unknown amount of time, the pig farm was in complete disarray. Having vented his anger, Xiao Fan coldly stared at the pigsty, which was in a state of utter ruin. There were several broken and mangled surveillance cameras under Xiao Fan's feet. That's right, Xiao Fan has been tricked again. The video of the god of war Xiao Fan smashing up a pig farm has gone viral on major platforms around the world, with all sorts of sensational headlines catching the global eye. But Xiao Fan had no choice. He lost all his clothes, pants, cell phone, and other belongings. Desire God, if I don't avenge this, I Xiao Fan swear I'm not human, Xiao Fan swore coldly. Meanwhile, Wang Heianen, who woke up naturally, received another 70,000 villain points and was in a great mood. System, how many villain points are needed to upgrade to Super War God? Wang Heianen asked in his mind while enjoying a hearty breakfast. Ding, host needs 100,000 villain points. How many villain points would be needed to reach the same combat power as Xiao Fan? Ding, 150,000 villain points can be added to Xiao Fan's current normal combat strength. Oh, it needs 150,000. Wang Heianen instantly became dejected. It takes 150,000 villain points to obtain Xiao Fan's current normal combat strength. If one wants to surpass Xiao Fan, how many villain points would be needed? 200,000 or 300,000. Even if Xiao Fan's luck is completely deducted, he will only have 360,000 at most. According to the system's nature, once he surpasses Xiao Fan, he probably won't have much villain value left. If he were to exchange for a cultivation technique or something, it's uncertain whether he would even have enough villain value. Thinking about all this, Wang Heianen finally understood what it felt like to have love and hate at the same time. While the system's skill point allocation is certainly satisfying, its precise strategic planning can be infuriating. Chen Zhou didn't care about Wang Heianen's psychological changes. Although it was his first time using a system, the gifts left by the seniors in the system world were very rich, and Chen Zhou gained a lot and became very skilled. If the host is disobedient, just change the memories and find a more obedient one. It's not like you have to hang yourself on one tree. A large island in the Atlantic Ocean. Lizard, have you found the source of those videos online? You damn bird, how many times have I told you? My name is Poison Lizard, not Lizard. If you call me Lizard again, I'm done. The Poison Lizard glared fiercely at the vermilion bird. Do it or don't, you dead lizard, you dead lizard. Suzaku retorted defiantly. Enough, you two, stop arguing. What time is it now? Our elder brother has been humiliated and you two still have the leisure to bicker. Especially you, vermilion bird. The Poison Lizard is a good friend of our Western Heaven Battle Hall. Don't bully her every time. Azure Dragon criticized sternly. That's right, that's right. Brother Kinglong is the most reasonable. Dead bird, you should learn from him. Poison Lizard, how is Lord War God? Is it possible to contact Boss War God? Azure Dragon asked anxiously. Upon hearing Poisonous Lizard, the lizard's face immediately fell, and it looked at the Azure Dragon with a serious expression. "Brother Azure Dragon, my name is Poisonous Lizard, not Poisonous Lizard." "Okay, Poison Lizard, can we contact Boss War God now, or get those dirty videos completely deleted?" Azure Dragon corrected the mistake with a smile. My name is Poison Lizard, not Poison Lizard," the Poison Lizard frantically emphasized. "Okay, Poison Lizard, can you contact the God of War? And how's the progress on deleting the video and investigating its source?" Azure Dragon smiled as always. Hearing this little green snake call herself a poisonous lizard, the poisonous lizard went absolutely crazy. If it weren't for the fact that this was Brother Zishan's business, she would have kicked the two of them out long ago. "Dead bird, little green snake. We haven't been able to contact Brother Zishan, but the last location where Brother Zishan's phone emitted a signal is the same location as the number that called Brother Zishan last night," the poison lizard calmly stated. "So the pigsty scene from last night was real," Kinglong said thoughtfully. The vermilion bird and the poison lizard looked at the Azure Dragon with strange expressions. Kinglong coughed twice on purpose and explained guiltily. "Don't misunderstand, I'm just shocked that the video is actually real." Poisonous Lizard, continue. The lizard instinctively shrank back, then said, "Those videos are all real. According to my investigation, these videos originated from an organization called Desire, which is very mysterious. No information about Desire can be found anywhere in the world. It's as if this organization appeared out of thin air. We simply cannot find out the true identities of these people." "Dead Lizard, can we delete all those videos?" Suzaku asked hurriedly. The lizard shook its head. With the deliberate encouragement of those with ulterior motives, these videos were downloaded and forwarded hundreds of millions of times overnight. Even if the videos on the internet are deleted, those that were downloaded and retained will not be completely removed. Moreover, the original video is still in the hands of the Desire organization, which has even made the boastful claim that the path of desire is not lonely. Xiao Fan will reign forever, and has labeled the video with the information God of War of the Western Heaven, making it impossible to delete completely. Upon hearing the poisonous lizard's words, Suzaku's hopeful heart sank to the bottom. "What can we do then? If we let these videos circulate freely, sooner or later they'll reach my sister-in-law's eyes. What will we do then, brother?" Kinglong angrily slammed his fist on the table, shattering it. "Azure Dragon, I've decided to go to China to investigate." At this moment, Vermilion Bird stepped forward. Looking at Kinglong, Zhuke explained, "Kinglong, this happened in China, which means the murderer is definitely still in China and may even be Chinese. These people have a grudge against Xiao Fan, and now their attention is drawn to him. If I secretly infiltrate China, I might very well gain something unexpected. Zhuke, I know you have feelings for Big Brother, but you're unaware of the despicable methods of this organization. If you were to fall into their hands, the consequences would be dire." Kinglong couldn't bear to continue. Even he was terrified of the methods employed by the Desire organization. If Suzaku fell into their hands, her fate would likely be even worse than Xiao Fan's. "Kinglong, I know you're worried about my safety, but I can't not go. The Desire organization is mysterious, and even Xiao Fan was caught in their trap. Of course, I'm also very afraid of this organization. But if I don't go, what will happen to Xiao Fan? I can't just stand by and watch Xiao Fan get played to death. Azure Dragon, if I fall into the hands of these guys, I will kill myself." Vermilion Bird looked at Azure Dragon earnestly. "All right," Azure Dragon sighed, knowing he couldn't stop Vermilion Bird. "I will do my best to help you conceal the fact that you left the Western Heaven Battle Palace." Azure Dragon looked solemnly at Vermilion Bird. "Dead Bird, I'll forge an identity for you." The poisonous lizard looked at the Vermilion Bird very seriously. "Thank you," Zhuke said with a gentle smile. "Come back safe and sound, you dead bird. Return safely, Suzaku." Suzaku didn't look at the two people behind him, silently thinking, definitely. Chapter 9 has begun. "Hello, who are you looking for?" The receptionist asked the man politely with a professional smile. "I'm Wang Heianen, here to see Zhang Delong." Wang Heianen smiled as he looked at the exquisitely beautiful woman before him. Upon hearing the name, Wang Heianen, the woman immediately realized that she didn't know Wang Heianen. But the general manager had announced in the company group that Wang Heianen was the second young master of the Wang family in Beijing and the younger brother of the head office boss. The general manager repeatedly emphasized that if any young man named Wang Heianen came to the company, he should be immediately taken to the president's office on the top floor. "Hello, Mr. Wang, please come this way. I'll take you to the president's office." The receptionist politely gestured for him to proceed. Wang Heiyanen nodded and followed the receptionist into the private elevator, quickly arriving at the top floor of the office building. Tianxing Group, an ordinary company under the Wang family, is financially strong, has a wide range of businesses, is a leading enterprise in Jiangcheng, and is one of the largest super-large enterprises in the province. This was also the biggest obstacle for Xiao Fan to enter the business world in the original timeline. In the original timeline, after Xiao Fan rescued Tang Weiwei, he stormed the Tang family alone the next day. After punishing them, the remaining Tang family members, in order to save their lives, pushed all the blame for kidnapping Tang Liu onto Wang Heiyanen and handed the Tang family over to Tang Weiwei. When such immense wealth came crashing down on her, Tang Weiwei was completely bewildered. The contract seemed flawless, and the Tang family kept emphasizing that it was compensation for the years they had wronged her. So Tang Weiwei had no choice but to agree. Xiao Fan used his influence to secretly help Tang's real estate grow rapidly. After learning that Tang Weiwei and Xiao Fan had gotten together, Wang Heiyanen lost his mind and frantically attacked Tang's real estate, further escalating the conflict. Ultimately, a traitor emerged within Tianxing Group. Under Xiao Fan's coercion and enticement, some senior executives defected, causing Tianxing Group's stock to plummet and never recover. Thinking of everything that happened on the original timeline, a chill flashed in Wang Heiyanen's eyes. He came to Tianxing Group today to deal with that traitor, those opportunists who switched sides at the last minute, and the parasites ahead of time. Knock, knock, knock. The receptionist knocked on the office door. Please come in, a pleasant voice rang out. Upon opening the door, a young woman sat organizing documents. She was dressed in a business suit, with long, flowing hair, clear, bright eyes, and a faint smile on her lips. Wang Heiyanen recognized the woman at a glance. Li Zini, the intern secretary, the traitor who stole Tianxing Group's business secrets from his memory. If this woman hadn't stolen company secrets, Xiao Fan wouldn't have been able to bring down Tianxing Group so easily. Li Zini glanced at the reception desk out of the corner of her eye and said in a flat voice, "President Zhang is in a meeting, which should take another hour. Please take him to the meeting room." Secretary Li, this is young Master Wang. General Manager Zhang instructed that we must notify him immediately whenever he comes to the company, the receptionist said seriously to Secretary Li. Wang Heiyanen raised his hand, signaling the woman not to speak. "You can go back now. I think Secretary Li will treat me well." Yes, the woman at the front desk gave a slight bow and stepped back to leave. Wang Heiyanen walked straight into the office, sat in Zhang Delong's seat, and casually picked up a document to look through. Li Zini frowned in displeasure. "Mr. Wang, please do not touch the company's documents." Wang Heiyanen put down the documents and looked at Li Zini with disdain. "The Wang family owns 75% of Tianxing Group. What's wrong with me taking a look?" "Mr. Wang, company regulations stipulate that non-essential personnel are not allowed to access company secrets. So what if I saw it? If you're not happy, call Zhang Delong over and see if he dares to talk to me like that." Wang Heiyanen looked at Li Zini arrogantly. "That's right, Wang Heiyanen came here to cause trouble. Wang Heiyanen's goal today is to get rid of Li Zini, this traitor. So naturally he won't give her a friendly look." Li Zini was speechless. She looked down on Wang Heiyanen, this spoiled young master, from the bottom of her heart. Apart from his good family background and a few dirty coins, he had no skills at all. Li Zini had heard of Wang Heiyanen's name when she was in school. He was a womanizer who spent his days indulging in debauchery and couldn't sleep at night. She didn't know how many young girls he had ruined. Li Zini felt extremely disgusted and repulsed by this kind of scumbag. "Secretary Li, right? Go make me a cup of tea." "Mr. Wang, my job is as a secretary, not a waitress. If you want tea, please make it yourself." Li Zini was exasperated, but she suppressed her anger and refused Wang Heiyanen's order. Wang Heiyanen wasn't angry. Okay, I'll go by myself." After saying that, Wang Heiyanen actually got up, picked up the teapot and tea leaves, filled the water, and brewed the tea in one go. Li Zini realized she couldn't do anything to Wang Heiyanen, so she silently returned to her desk and continued organizing the documents. Wang Heiyanen then took out his phone, opened the Golden Shovel app, and passed the time. Wang Heiyanen had bad luck in the first round, and Lao Liu was eliminated in about 20 minutes. Since there was still time, he started another round. "Mr. Zhang," seeing Zhang Delong return with the Secretary General and some company executives, Li Zini quickly stepped forward to greet him. "SHH," Zhang Delong made a gesture for silence. She bypassed Li Zini, tiptoed behind Wang Heianen, and quietly watched him go all in. Upon seeing this, the company's senior management stood quietly. Even the partners who had just finalized their cooperation agreement dared not breathe loudly when they saw Zhang Delong's caution, and obediently stood and waited with everyone else. Wang Heianen noticed Zhang Delong's actions from the beginning, but ignored them, focusing on going all in on 3-star, 5 cost units. In the final second, the golden legend unfolded. A giant chicken stood in the center of the chessboard, and the opponent uttered, that's it, surrendering without a fight. Mr. Zhang, please have a seat. Wang Heianen put down his phone and looked at Zhang Delong gently. Zhang Delong secretly glared at Li Zini, then sat up straight with a forced smile, just like the business partners would when they saw him. Young Master Wang, what brings you to the company? Wang Heianen glanced around and said, nothing much, just wandering around since I have nothing else to do. Hearing this, Zhang Delong breathed a sigh of relief. It turned out they weren't here to cause him trouble. Good. The next moment, Wang Heianen's words left Zhang Delong dumbfounded. Mr. Zhang, I don't like that Secretary Li. Fire her. What? Open the door. Firing Secretary Li is acceptable. She's just an intern who displeased young Master Wang. It's no big deal. Yes, young Master Wang, I'll have Secretary Li dismissed this afternoon, Zhang Delong assured him with a smile. Upon hearing that she was to be expelled, Li Zini instantly became agitated. What right do you have to expel me? She stared directly at Wang Heianen, demanding to know his reasons. Tianxing Group, a leading enterprise in Jiangcheng, a well-known large company in China and a Fortune 500 company, offers the best welfare benefits in the industry. Upon hearing that she was going to be fired, Li Zini panicked. I don't like you, so I unilaterally broke the contract. What can you do about it? Wang Heianen looked at Li Zini with a nonchalant expression. Tianxing Group has ample funds and doesn't care about the breach of contract penalty. Firing the traitor Li Zini is just a matter of a word. Li Zini, go back and pack your things. Don't worry, you'll get all the compensation you're owed. Zhang Delong looked at Li Zini indifferently. Mr. Zhang, you. Li Zini looked at her highly respected senior in disbelief. Li Zini never expected that the senior who had always taken good care of her would expel her without hesitation, just because of a single sentence from Wang Heianen. Zini, let me help you pack your things. A secretary quickly stepped forward and pulled Li Zini aside. But Li Zini looked at the pretty older sister with a wronged expression, tears welling up in her eyes. She couldn't understand why she had been expelled. She did nothing wrong, except that she didn't make tea for Wang Heianen, and he fired her. Why is this guy bullying me like this? I'm sorry, Mr. Zhang, Mr. Wang. Zini is not in a good mood. I'll take her downstairs to rest. The secretary, who had pulled Li Zini aside, quickly tried to save face for her. Wang Heianen nodded, waved his hand indifferently, and said, go. It was as if he had only done a trivial matter. Chapter 10, The Great Purge. Hello, Mr. Wang. I am Lin Ken from Lin's Timber. It's a pleasure to meet you. Lin Ken, the business partner, handed over his business card with a fawning smile. Wang Heianen glanced at it casually, and then placed Lin Ken's business card on the table. Your timber is very good. Wang Heianen politely complimented Lin Ken. Thank you for your appreciation, young Master Wang. This brief affirmation filled Lin Ken with overwhelming joy. All right, Wang Heianen waved his hand. You can discuss business matters with General Manager Zhang. I won't interfere. Secretary Liu, could you please show Mr. Lin around the company? I have something to discuss with General Manager Zhang. Wang Heianen's words were very straightforward. Everyone knows what it means, but no one dares to object. Mr. Lin, let me show you around our company, Secretary Liu said with a smile, extending an invitation to Lin Ken. Lin Ken, being a seasoned veteran, immediately understood that young Master Wang was giving him the boot. I have long admired your company's management model, and I never expected to have the opportunity to visit and learn from it today. I would like to trouble Secretary Liu. Mr. Lin, please. Secretary Liu smiled professionally, leaned forward slightly, and extended his right hand in a gesture of invitation, thinking to himself, this old man really knows how to suck up. Secretary Liu, please. Lin Ken responded politely with a cheerful smile. Making money is nothing to be ashamed of. After Secretary Liu and Lin Ken left, the others also tactfully left the office. After the people left, Wang Heianen took out a list full of names. Upon closer inspection, the list included many senior executives from various departments and most subsidiaries of Tianxing Group. One or two of the names were even veterans of Tianxing Group. Young Master Wang, what is the meaning of this? After looking at the list, Zhang Delong felt a little uneasy. The list contains many names, roughly 30% of the entire group, and some names are even circled in red. The people I circled in red don't need to be treated with any leniency. You can handle the others as you see fit. I trust you can find out what they've been up to behind the scenes. Wang Hao looked coldly at Zhang Delong. Zhang Delong nodded solemnly, indicating that he understood Wang Hao's meaning. Wang Heyunin patted Zhang Delong on the shoulder. I'm entrusting this matter entirely to you. I hope you can complete it as soon as possible. With that, Wang Heyunin got up and walked outside. A major internal purge of Tianxing Group has begun. Zyro Fan, this time I won't give you any chances. Wang Heyunin secretly vowed. Young master, have you finished your business? Afu ran over with a smile. We need to go to one more place, Afu. Have the driver bring the car over. Yes, young master. Afu picked up the walkie-talkie and told the driver to bring the car over. Soon, Wang Heyunin and his group arrived at an old residential area. A group of people were gathered at the entrance, seemingly arguing about something. Wang Hao led his men in, where they met the gazes of a group of bodyguards and a group of men, women, and children dressed in various styles. Ouch, someone's been hit. This is outrageous. A young man attacked an old lady. Ouch, my head, my legs, my butt. An elderly woman who looked very energetic was rolling around on the ground, and the bodyguard was so shocked that he dared not go forward. Auntie, please be reasonable. We haven't even touched your clothes. If you lie on the ground like this and act like a rogue, it will make our work very difficult. I don't care. I won't get up unless you give me an extra 500,000 yuan in resettlement fees. That's right, that's right. If you don't give us an extra 500,000 yuan in resettlement fees, we won't move out and will prevent you from starting work. Young master, what are we doing here? Are we just here to eat melon seeds? Afu asked, confused. Wang Heyunin shook his head. Find someone. Looking for someone? Who could possibly be in this run-down neighborhood that would warrant your personal visit, young master? Afu scratched the back of his head. Afu, wait for me outside. I'll be right back. Wang Heyunin didn't explain. Yes, young master. Wang Heyunin walked to the edge of the crowd and said, Excuse me, could you please let me through? A sudden sound rang out, and everyone's eyes turned to Wang Heyunin. You must be their boss. Your men injured me and tried to kick us out. Pay up now or I'll call the police. The middle-aged woman on the ground immediately shouted at Wang Heyunin in a loud voice. So you're the one who wants to turn our neighborhood into a commercial street, right? Let me tell you, the money you're offering isn't enough. If you want us to move out, you have to give us an extra 1,000,000 yuan in relocation compensation. A young man wearing glasses stepped forward and demanded a price. Yes, we must get another 1,000,000. Otherwise, even if the King of Heaven himself came today, we wouldn't move. You bosses make so much money, all you do is bully us poor people. We will never move unless you give us an extra 1,000,000. What you said does make some sense. Wang Heyunin nodded slyly. The residents' eyes lit up instantly, as if wealth was beckoning to them. The next moment, Wang Heyunin looked at the elderly couple in front of him with great interest and smiled. But I'm not their boss, so I can't give you the compensation you want. Not the boss? If you're not their boss, what are you doing here? Go away. The middle-aged woman was so angry that she completely lost her composure. The neighbors made way for Wang Heyunin to enter the community smoothly. This forced demolition actually had nothing to do with Wang Heyunin. It was a project of the Tang family. In the original timeline, the Tang family had been unable to resolve this issue and kept dragging it out until Zyro Fan displayed his extraordinary power and sent his underlings for some friendly communication, which finally put the project on the right track. There was a minor incident during this time. Zyro Fan sent his underlings to warn others, but they accidentally broke into a strange old man's house and started smashing things, and then they were all poisoned. Upon learning of this, Zyro Fan laughed. Trying to play with poison in front of him was like showing off one's limited skills before an expert. Then Zyro Fan failed. This poison was quite potent, and for a moment, Zyro Fan couldn't think of how to prepare an antidote. But he'd already boasted about it. If he said he couldn't cure the poison, how could Zyro Fan continue to show off in front of his underlings? That night, Zyro Fan sneaked into the old man's house, but was poisoned as soon as he entered. Zyro Fan was furious, and the old man died. Zyro Fan successfully found an ancient medical book, and also learned that the poison his younger brother had been afflicted with was a diluted and weakened version of the seventh most potent poison in the world. Having obtained an ancient medical book, my younger brother was cured of the poison with ease. Although this minor incident didn't cause much of a stir, Wang Heianen was still quite interested in that ancient medical book. Wang Heianen expressed great interest in the 7 most potent poisons recorded in ancient medical books and wanted to try to purchase them. If he can buy it, that would be best. If he can't, Wang Heianen won't force it. At the very least, Wang Heianen can get some finished products to take back. Following the description in his memory, Wang Heianen quickly found the strange old man's residence. Knock, knock, knock. The door's unlocked, come in, the old man inside called out. Wang Heianen opened the door and was greeted by a variety of ceramic jars, glass jars, and plastic jars. Some of the jars contained pickled vegetables, some contained medicinal wine, and others contained some unknown liquid. Upon seeing Wang Heianen, a hint of surprise flashed in the old man's eyes, but he quickly regained his composure. Little boy, what kind of pickled vegetables do you want to buy? Chapter 11, The 7 Great Poisons of the World. Do you think I look like I'm here to buy pickled vegetables? Wang Heianen looked at the bald old man with a serious expression. The old man remained silent for a while, seemingly deep in thought. He knew, of course, why this young man had come. The ancient medical book was the general outline of all medical and poison arts in the world. In order to obtain the ancient medical book, he did not hesitate to betray his sect and deceive his junior sister. In the end, however, it was all for naught. He couldn't learn medicine, nor could he create the 7 most potent poisons in the world. He could only live a muddled and miserable life hiding in this dilapidated neighborhood. The old man shook his head. It's useless. Ordinary people can't make those poisons, and without special internal energy, medical skills are not as reliable as modern medical skills. How much, 100 million, 200 million, or 300 million? Wang Heianen asked casually. Young master, you're too kind. I'll find it for you, even if it's just a medical book. Breaking Bad quickly kicked open the bed and took out a yellowed, ancient parchment book. Young master, this is the ancient medical book. The old man ran over with a beaming smile. The old man wasn't afraid the young man would change his mind. The moment the young man entered, he was poisoned. Wang Heianen took the ancient sheepskin book and said, What's your account number? I'll transfer the money to you right now. Wang Heianen knew what kind of person the other party was, but he didn't say it outright. It was just a small amount of poison, a matter of a few hundred villain points. The old man excitedly mentioned an overseas account and watched as Wang Heianen transferred the money into that account to complete the transaction. It's worth mentioning that the old man also gave Wang Heianen several of the results of his years of research, including the pseudo-7th rare poison that had given Xiao Fan a headache in the original timeline. As soon as he left the residential area, Wang Heianen took out his phone, scanned and saved the contents of the ancient medical book, and casually sent a copy to his brother, Wang Xuans. Ancient medical books are of great value. Wang Heianen will not cultivate according to the special methods in the medical books, but he can use them to train a group of subordinates with good medical skills. As for the 7 most extraordinary poisons in the world in the poison arts section, Wang Heianen was completely dumbfounded after reading it. As expected of the 7 poisons that no one can cure, the formula even contains radioactive substances. Wang Heianen could only say that the guy who came up with these 7 poison formulas is a true genius. They are ruthless not only to the enemy, but also to themselves, leaving absolutely no way out. No wonder there are rumors that the world's most potent poisons can cause poisoning if you get close, and that a single glance can cause your body to rot and you to die. With these ingredients, how could you not be poisoned if you were close by? A short while later, Wang Xuans called. Hao Nan, where did you find this again? Brother, this is an ancient medical book that I went to great lengths to get my hands on. It's the real deal. The real thing? This book on poisons lists 7 extraordinary poisons, named the first extraordinary poison under heaven, the second extraordinary poison under heaven, the third extraordinary poison under heaven, the fourth extraordinary poison under heaven, the fifth extraordinary poison under heaven, the sixth extraordinary poison under heaven, and the 7th extraordinary poison under heaven. Wang Xuans looked at Wang Heianen with displeasure. If Wang Heianen weren't his own brother, he would have sent someone to deal with this idiot long ago. Not only does he not do anything serious all day long, but he also sends him strange things from time to time. Every time he claims to have got something good and asks him to verify it, but 9 times out of 10 it turns out to be fake, which only increases his workload. Wang Heianen was, after all, his younger brother, so Wang Xuans decided to give him another chance to explain. Wang Xuans suppressed his anger and continued, Tell me, how much money did you get swindled out of this time? Brother, I really wasn't fooled this time. I only spent 300 million on this ancient medical book. Wang Xuans nodded. 300 million was indeed not much. It was roughly 3 months' living expenses for Wang Heianen. In any case, it was a family dividend compensation, so Wang Heianen could spend it however he wanted, as long as he didn't commit any crimes. Brother, take another look at the descriptions of these poisons. I guarantee they're all true. There's also the cultivation method for the medical martial arts section. You can choose a few talented people to learn it. I guarantee this stuff will definitely be useful. There are also prescriptions and cultivation methods for those medicinal herbs recorded in the medicine section. Have someone test these. They are all genuine. This book is truly the legendary ancient medical book. As he spoke, Wang Heianen held the original ancient medical book in front of his phone camera and opened it for Wang Xuans to examine. Seeing Wang Heianen intently flipping through the book, Wang Xuans was in a good mood. All right, I've already had the items checked. Just behave yourself outside. If you encounter any problems, tell me and I'll send you in for retraining. Hearing this, Wang Heianen laughed in anger. Brother, I'm just a womanizer, not an idiot. I won't do anything illegal. All right, it's a matter of morality and conduct, right? Everyone knows that. Just be careful. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up. I have a ton of work to do at the company. After exchanging pleasantries, Wang Xuans unilaterally hung up on Wang Heianen. Wang Heianen shook his head, thinking to himself, "Don't worry, bro. After I deal with Xiao Fan, I'll definitely go back to Beijing and beat you up, heh tilde. System, where is Xiao Fan now?" After finishing his own business, Wang Heianen immediately asked about Xiao Fan's location. Beep, host, the real-time holographic positioning function requires 1,000 villain points to activate. Go ahead and start it. Wang Hao didn't care at all. He had already experienced the system's true nature before. When he inquired about the list of problematic individuals within the Tianxing group, the Destiny Villain system charged him 250 villain points. Beep, real-time holographic positioning service is now activated. A red dot appeared in Wang Heianen's mind, its location showing the front door of Tang Weiwei's house. The scene shifts, and Xiao Fan's live surveillance footage suddenly appears before Wang Heianen's eyes. Weiwei, please forgive me. I had my reasons for these past 5 years. Xiao Fan looked at Tang Weiwei with deep affection. Difficulties? What difficulties did you have that led to your abrupt departure without a word? What difficulties could have kept you from making a single phone call for 5 years? Tang Weiwei stared coldly at Xiao Fan. With Chen Zhou breaking the aura of her supposed intellectual impairment, Tang Weiwei's eyes showed utter disappointment, even hatred, towards Xiao Fan. 5 years ago, Xiao Fan wandered to Jiangcheng in a sorry state, covered in injuries. Tang Weiwei took pity on him and kindly took him in. At the time, Tang Weiwei had just started university and was quite naive. She thought Xiao Fan might be in some kind of trouble, so she secretly took him back with her. As they spent time together, they gradually developed feelings for each other and fell deeply in love. Then one day, after a passionate night together, Xiao Fan left without saying goodbye. Tang Weiwei was stunned. She never expected to encounter such a thing. She had planned to break with her family and elope with Xiao Fan, but Xiao Fan just vanished without a trace. During that time, Tang Weiwei even thought about suicide, but ironically she became pregnant. After discovering she was pregnant, Tang Weiwei gradually calmed down and decided to give birth to the child. Upon learning that Tang Weiwei was going to give birth, the Tang family angrily cut off her living expenses and even threatened to expel her from the family and sever all ties if she dared to give birth to the child. Tang Weiwei moved out of the Tang family's house, demonstrating her stance through her actions. Afterwards, with no source of income, Tang Weiwei chose to drop out of school and raise Tang Liel on her own by doing odd jobs and writing articles and copywriting for others. Weiwei, I really had my reasons back then. Please believe me and give me another chance, Xiao Fan pleaded desperately. Chapter 12. The relationship between the male and female protagonists breaks down. Back then, Xiao Fan carried a deep-seated hatred, worried that his enemies would find him and implicate Tang Weiwei. At the same time, he also wanted to prove to the Tang family that he, Xiao Fan, was worthy of Tang Weiwei. Therefore, after the two spent the night together, Xiao Fan chose to leave quietly and travel overseas. Tang Weiwei gave a cold laugh. Difficulties? What difficulties could possibly keep you from having a single phone call or letter for 5 years? Weiwei, I really have something to suffer. Before Xiao Fan could finish speaking, Tang Weiwei immediately interrupted. Enough! Zyro Fan, the innocent Tang Weiwei of the past, is dead. Whatever your reasons, they are none of my business now, and I don't want to hear them. Tang Weiwei looked at Zyro Fan coldly. After 5 years of living together, she was no longer the naive Tang Weiwei she once was, and she would no longer believe men's lies. Weiwei, I know you hate me, but Lil needs a father, needs a happy family. You don't want Lil to grow up without a father's love, do you? Seeing that Tang Weiwei was unmoved, Zyro Fan had no choice but to resort to a last resort. Tang Weiwei's expression was cold as she calmly said, Zyro Fan, Lil is only 3 years old. My affair with you happened 5 years ago. Lil is not your child. Upon hearing this, Zyro Fan felt as if he had been struck by lightning. Impossible, absolutely impossible. He couldn't believe Lil wasn't his daughter. Zyro Fan kept shaking his head. Weiwei, this isn't real. Tell me this isn't real. If Lil isn't his child, then why would Tang Weiwei give Lil her phone number? Zyro Fan, Lil's birth date is recorded. You can check it if you don't believe me, but if you dare to get close to Lil, I will call the police. Tang Lil's birth date was changed by Tang Weiwei at her request from her best friend. As for Zyro Fan's phone call, Tang Weiwei had no idea that Tang Lil had called Zyro Fan. Tang Weiwei had never told Tang Lil anything about Zyro Fan. The phone call was made by Tang Lil's godmother, who was also Tang Weiwei's best friend. Tang Weiwei was still unaware of this matter. Tang Lil didn't say anything. Zyro Fan didn't say anything. So Tang Weiwei had no idea what she was talking about. Watching the two struggle to the extreme, Wang Heianen exclaimed that it was spectacular. As expected of the holographic positioning, it was just like watching the scene up close. The 1,000 villain points were well spent. The Destiny villain system, forever a god. System, can you report this to the police anonymously? Ding, host, 100 villain points. Go ahead and call. Tell them you saw a man harassing a single woman living alone, and also call a reporter so they can arrive with the law enforcement team. Ding, host, 1 villain value of 250. Upon hearing the number, Wang Heianen's face darkened, and he gritted his teeth, saying, beat them. Ding, 250 villain points successfully deducted. Shortly after, the law enforcement team and a reporter from Jiangcheng Evening News arrived at Tang Weiwei's doorstep. Hey, you creepy guy up there, stay still. Cover your head and crouch down right now or we'll shoot, an officer shouted. Upon hearing this, a murderous glint flashed in Zyro Fan's eyes. Damn it, who called the police? Don't they have any sense? Can't they see he's just trying to appease his wife? China is a no-go zone for mercenaries. He entered illegally before, and it would be troublesome if he got caught. Zyro Fan turned around, and everyone was stunned. Zyro Fan. No one expected that the guy harassing women living alone would be Zyro Fan. He was too dangerous. Kaka. The reporters behind him immediately took several close-up shots of Zyro Fan. If law enforcement officers hadn't prevented them from getting close, they probably would have shoved their microphones right in Zyro Fan's face. As a journalist, Zyro Fan's glorious deeds last night are known to everyone in the news industry. Of course, given the magnitude of the incident, the law enforcement agency had seen the relevant reports and knew that the man opposite them was an extremely dangerous individual. Zyro Fan, the god of war of the Western Heaven, the lord of the Western Heaven Battle Hall, the uncrowned king of the Western underworld, a lawless madman, a bloodthirsty butcher, and one of the destabilizing factors on the non-continental continent. Headquarters, Zyro Fan has been found here. Zyro Fan has been found here requesting backup. Requesting backup. The law enforcement officers behind him immediately called for backup. Zyro Fan is a war god-level figure, capable of dealing with unconventional weapons. This is a case that ordinary people like them cannot handle. Zyro Fan, stop what you're doing, surrender, and everything will be fine, a young law enforcement officer patiently advised. Clearly, he was unaware that Zyro Fan had provoked the enemy and been shot down by a missile the previous night, and simply assumed that Zyro Fan had only smuggled himself in. Zyro Fan glanced coldly at these ordinary people and gave them a standard crooked smile. In the blink of an eye, Zyro Fan disappeared. Tang Weiwei stared in shock at the spot where Zyro Fan had been standing. Madam, are you all right? The law enforcement officer immediately stepped forward to inquire. No, it's nothing, Tang Weiwei replied, still shaken. It's good that you're all right. Madam, here's the thing. Zyro Fan is an extremely dangerous person overseas, and the matter is rather complicated. We'd appreciate it if you could come back with us to give a brief statement. Tang Weiwei nodded. Okay. Although she didn't know who Zyro Fan was, Judging from the tone of the law enforcement officers, Zyro Fan was definitely not a good person. It's time to put an end to some things. As Tang Weiwei walked onto the law enforcement vehicle, Zyro Fan angrily punched a hole in someone else's roof. Damn desires, if it weren't for you I wouldn't be in such a sorry state. Zyro Fan understood that if Tang Weiwei went to the Law Enforcement Bureau, she would definitely know what happened to him last night, and she would also know his identity as the god of war of the Western Heaven. Zyro Fan's worst fears came true. It wasn't that he didn't want to tell Tang Weiwei his identity, but he was worried that his identity would frighten her. They were worried that Tang Weiwei wouldn't be able to accept it right away. Now things are really messed up. Because of his desire, his identity is now known to the whole world. Even a random passerby knows who he is. How can he hide it now? Especially that night's global live broadcast. How was he supposed to face Weiwei? How was he supposed to face his daughter? Damn desire, Zyro Fan roared in anger. The lizard told him that she had not found any information about the organization, Desire. Unable to select, Zyro Fan was furious but had nowhere to vent his anger, feeling extremely frustrated. Ding, Zyro Fan, the chosen one of Destiny, has broken off his relationship with Tang Weiwei, the heroine of Destiny, and has lost many of his allies. 6,000 Destiny points have been deducted, and the host has gained 60,000 villain points. Ding, the heroine, Tang Weiwei, has developed fear and disgust towards Zyro Fan, the chosen one of Destiny, and has completely lost any chance to salvage the situation. 3,000 luck points have been deducted, and the host has gained 30,000 villain points. Upon hearing the system announcement, Wang Heianen understood that Tang Weiwei had learned of Zyro Fan's identity, was completely disappointed in him, and even felt fear towards him, wanting to sever all ties with him. How could Tang Weiwei, an ordinary person, dare to get involved with Zyro Fan, an overseas crime boss with enemies everywhere and a notorious reputation? Even if it weren't for her own sake, Tang Weiwei had to think about Tang Liu. She couldn't let her daughter be in danger. She was even more unwilling for Zyro Fan to lead her daughter astray. Seeing that his villain value had reached 150,000, Wang Heianen decisively decided to add points to it. System, I want to exchange for Zyro Fan's normal combat power. Ding, 150,000 villain points successfully deducted. Congratulations, host, you have obtained Super War God combat power. As the system announcement sounded, Wang Heianen clearly felt his internal strength surge. Now he could easily kill his former self with just one punch. No wonder Zyro Fan is so arrogant. With his strength, he certainly has the right to be arrogant. The Super War God is an extremely rare and powerful being, even on a global scale. Apart from terrifying weapons of nuclear caliber, nothing can threaten the Super War God. However, Wang Heianen did not dare to be arrogant. Although the God of War was strong, there were also many high-tech weapons that could punish the God of War. For example, the special energy pulse missile that was used to deal with Zyro Fan would have killed an ordinary God of War on the spot. An ordinary super warrior might be able to withstand it to some extent, but if hit by that kind of missile blast, his true energy would instantly reverse. Zyro Fan reacted quickly enough and was only affected by the pulse energy wave, but he was still seriously injured instantly. If he had been hit, he would definitely have been on the verge of death. Chapter 13, Young Master Wang is actually a god of war. After adapting to the power he had just gained, Wang Heianen glanced at Zyro Fan's location and discovered that Zyro Fan was actually moving rapidly. Upon closer inspection, it became clear that Zyro Fan was heading towards the Tang family. Judging from his demeanor, he was likely going to vent his anger on the Tang family and, incidentally, seek justice for Tang Weiwei. The timeline has been moved forward. In the original timeline, Zyro Fan, who has reunited with his daughter, is responsible for taking her to and from school, while also ordering his men to subdue the underground forces in Jiangcheng. This time, because Chen Zhou shattered everyone's aura of reduced intelligence, Zyro Fan was shot down by a missile, and his entourage was completely wiped out. Wang Heianen's subsequent actions pushed Zyro Fan into the spotlight, and almost everyone who followed the internet knew about Zyro Fan's scandals and identity. Ah Fu, change direction, go straight to the Tang family, Wang Heianen quickly ordered. Understood, young master, Ah Fu replied, and quickly told the driver beside him to go to the Tang family. At the Tang family home, a group of people were arguing noisily. It's all your fault for being greedy. I told you to bring that little brat back, but you went looking for some Mina bird and sent him to the pigsty. Now look what's happened, everything's ruined. Young Master Wang is furious. Can you blame me? Who would have thought that Wang Heianen would actually call the police? We did everything we could for him, and not only did he not appreciate it, he also betrayed us all. Isn't it because you went too far and displeased young Master Wang? No matter what, Tang Weiwei is still the woman young Master Wang has his eye on. And what did you do? You threw her daughter into the pigsty, as if you were afraid Tang Weiwei wouldn't whisper sweet nothings in his ear. Tang Sita, I didn't blame you, but you're blaming me instead. If you hadn't said to use that little brat to force that bitch to submit, would I have gone to find those two bastards? Enough, what kind of behavior is this, making such a racket? Instead of spouting these useless things, let's think about how to get through this difficult time. The old man sitting in the main seat shouted angrily. The two stopped arguing. Third son, how did things go with those two? Father, I've made all the arrangements. Those two have promised to take responsibility for this. The middle-aged man, the third son of the Tang family, said confidently. The head of the Tang family nodded in satisfaction. His third son was quite capable in managing the Tang family's security, both in terms of methods and connections. He trusted him to handle this matter. The head of the Tang family turned his head and looked at Tang Weiwei's second uncle. Second brother, have you been able to contact young Master Wang? Father, it seems that young Master Wang has blocked me. Boom! With a loud crash, the council chamber doors collapsed instantly. Upon seeing who it was, the third son of the Tang family roared. Men, break this brat's legs and throw him out. Daring to attack the Tang family is like an old man eating poison. They're tired of living. Xiao Fan glanced at the Tang family members with a mocking look, then stomped on the floor, unleashing an aura of dominance. The Tang family members' expressions changed drastically. Sensing the terrifying aura emanating from Xiao Fan, their hearts skipped a beat. At this moment, Tang's bodyguards heard the commotion and rushed over. Go, Tang family elder roared, and a group of bodyguards rushed towards Xiao Fan. A hint of disdain flashed in Xiao Fan's eyes. He moved with the speed of a ghost, appearing in front of a bodyguard and throwing a punch. The bodyguard cried out and flew backward, crashing into the wall, his fate unknown. Xiao Fan moved with incredible speed, like a tiger charging into a flock of sheep. Wherever he went, the bodyguards fell to the ground, unable to get up. The third son of the Tang family had a gloomy face. Boy, you have some nerve. See how I deal with you. With that, he picked up a stool and lunged at Xiao Fan. Xiao Fan's lips curled into a signature wicked smile. He easily dodged Tang Jia's third son's attack, controlled his strength, and delivered a powerful kick to Tang Jia's third son's stomach. Tang Jia's third son groaned and flew backward, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Trash! Xiao Fan coldly stared at the third son of the Tang family on the ground, his eyes filled with contempt. He turned to the other members of the Tang family and said indifferently, anyone else who's not satisfied is welcome to come up and try. Young man, my Tang family has always been law-abiding and has no idea what we have done to offend you. The Tang family patriarch's tone became amiable. Old man, have you forgotten what happened a day ago? Xiao Fan sneered, staring coldly at the Tang family patriarch as if he could see right through him. The Tang family patriarch was startled by Xiao Fan's gaze. His body trembled slightly, and his mind raced as he tried to recall what he had seen. A day ago, could it be? The Tang family patriarch seemed to remember something. One day earlier, Tang Lil was kidnapped. The Tang family patriarch stared at Xiao Fan in shock, his lips trembling slightly. You, who exactly are you? His tone was filled with surprise and panic. When did Tang Weiwei meet such a powerful person? Could it be that this was sent by young Master Wang? No, young Master Wang has no reason to exterminate the Tang family. Even if he wanted to take action against the Tang family with the power of the Wang family, he could destroy the entire Tang family with just a word. The Tang family patriarch's expression kept changing. Very few people knew about this, including Wang Heianen, the Tang family members, and Tang Weiwei. Wang Heianen wouldn't use such methods to deal with the Tang family. Tang Weiwei couldn't possibly know any experts in the martial arts circle, and the Tang family members would never spend money to hire someone to deal with them. You're Xiao Fan. Suddenly, a junior member of the Tang family shouted from the corner. He remembered that this person was the most popular man in the Curious Zone, the uncrowned king of the Western Underworld, the master of the Western Heaven Battle Hall, and the god of war of the Western Heaven, Xiao Fan. Yes, he was certain that this was the man who had shocked the world overnight. Oh, it seems someone still remembers me. Xiao Fan was somewhat surprised. He never expected that anyone in the Tang family would still remember him. Hey Ashen, what exactly is going on? Do you know him? Grandpa, you can just search it on your phone and you'll find out. This person is called Xiao Fan, the god of war of the Western Heaven. Upon hearing this, Xiao Fan's face instantly darkened. He had thought he was meeting him from 5 years ago, but it turned out he was meeting him from yesterday. The Tang family members quickly checked on their phones, and sure enough, there were headlines like, Western Heaven War God battles Fat Pig. Shocking. The Western Heaven War God is actually a video to show you the real Western Heaven War God. And unbelievable. The Western Heaven War God is harassing a single, beautiful young woman. The headlines shocked the Tang family members, leaving them unable to extricate themselves from the shock for a long time. The Tang family patriarch's lips twitched slightly, his eyes staring blankly at the phone screen, unable to utter a word for a moment. Xiao Fan's face was terribly grim. Lord War God, what brings you to the Tang family? If it is within my power, I will gladly serve you. He now knew the identity of the young man before him, the king of the Western underworld, someone the Tang family could not afford to offend. What if I wanted to wipe out your entire Tang family? Xiao Fan's icy gaze swept over the crowd. If the Tang family hadn't kidnapped his daughter, he wouldn't have suffered such humiliation. Now, Weiwei is unwilling to forgive him and won't let her daughter acknowledge him as her father. He would be unworthy of being a father and a war god if he didn't teach the Tang family a profound lesson. Xiao Fan's eyes were filled with killing intent, like a dragon from hell, coldly staring at everyone present. Lord War God, please calm your anger. I, Tang Xuan, am willing to offer up the Tang family's entire legacy. Please, Lord War God, spare the lives of my Tang family. The Tang family patriarch knelt down decisively. Please forgive us, Lord War God. The rest of the Tang family members quickly followed suit and knelt down. Although they didn't know why Xiao Fan was looking for them, given his current demeanor, it was best not to provoke him. Oh, I didn't expect the Tang family to be so lively. It seems I've arrived at just the right time. Wang Heyanen walked in with a nonchalant air. Wang Heyanen sized up Xiao Fan, feigning surprise, and said, Oh, Western Heaven War God, what are you guys doing? Playing with the plot. Upon seeing Wang Heyanen, Xiao Fan's eyes instantly turned red, and he erupted in fury. This guy dares to lay a finger on his wife. He deserves to die. Banged. Fist to fist, Xiao Fan took 5 steps back. Xiao Fan was somewhat surprised. He had used 30% of his strength, but the kid didn't budge an inch. He's got some skills. Xiao Fan's combat power surged, and he quickly attacked Wang Heyanen. With the practical skills provided by the Destiny Villain system, Wang Heyanen countered Xiao Fan's moves and was able to hold his own against him for a time. The Tang family members were all dumbfounded. They hadn't expected this. Young Master Wang is actually a war god. Chapter 14, Xiao Fan's defeat and escape. However, Wang Heyanen, who was not empowered by any martial arts techniques, quickly found himself at a disadvantage. Bang, Xiao Fan punched Wang Heyanen away. Kid, I didn't expect you to be a super war god too, but daring to lay a finger on my wife today, I will surely kill you. The Tang family is, after all, Tang Weiwei's family. Xiao Fan has to consider Tang Weiwei's feelings and at most let her stay in the hospital for a few months. Wang Heyanen is different. Wang Heyanen is an outsider and can really kill her. Wang Heyanen showed no panic. Just as Xiao Fan's fist was about to hit Wang Heyanen, a tall figure knocked Xiao Fan back. Xiao Fan, this is China, not a place for you to run wild. The newcomer was Yang Dingshan, the god of war, the second in command of the Chinese military, a student of Wang Heyanen's grandfather, and the third strongest person in China, whose combat power was unfathomable. Yang Dingshan, I've already said I'm only in China on personal matters. If you insist on obstructing me, don't blame me for being ruthless. Xiao Fan showed no fear whatsoever. He's killed many super war gods before, so Yang Dingshan is nothing to him. What if I insist on stopping you? Yang Dingshan looked at Xiao Fan with resolute eyes. In an instant, the two attacked simultaneously, their fists whistling through the air, their true energy overflowing. The two moved with lightning speed, clashing in mid-air, each move containing terrifying destructive power. In just a few rounds, the already crumbling Tang family council hall collapsed into ruins, and the two then engaged in a fierce battle in the Tang family compound. The Tang family members had long since disappeared, and Wang Heyanen had also taken the bodyguard who had fallen to the ground to a safe place. System, who do you think will win between them? Chen Zhou glanced at it casually and knew the final result. Yang Dingshan. Old Yang. Wang Heianen stared intently at Old Yang's figure. With a single punch, Old Yang sent Xiao Fan flying, then quickly pressed his belt, and a set of nanotech armor straight out of a science fiction movie instantly covered his entire body. Wang Heianen was instantly dumbfounded. What? Armor? This is the kind of technology that should exist in this world. Upon seeing this, Xiao Fan was also extremely shocked. High-tech armor, when did China acquire such weapons? Without saying a word, Old Yang activated the high-energy weapon built into his arm, and 2 laser beams shot out with a whoosh. The speed was so fast that Xiao Fan couldn't react in time, and was severely injured instantly. Cough, cough, Yang Dingshan, I'll remember this grudge. Xiao Fan hadn't finished his harsh words. 2 high-energy laser pulses struck Xiao Fan's vitals. One hit his kidney, and the other was only 0.01 centimeters away from another kidney. Xiao Fan felt a sharp pain instantly. His body trembled involuntarily, and he almost fell to the ground. However, thanks to the protection of his luck, Xiao Fan still has the ability to move around, which is a stroke of luck amidst misfortune. Xiao Fan endured the pain and quickly fled into the distance. Ding, Xiao Fan, the Chosen One, has been defeated by Yang Dingshan, the god of war, and has fled in disarray. 1,000 luck points have been deducted, and the host has gained 10,000 villain points. Ding, Xiao Fan, the Chosen One of Destiny, has been defeated by technological weapons, severely damaging his martial arts spirit. 3,000 destiny points have been deducted, and the host has gained 30,000 villain points. Ding, Xiao Fan, the Chosen One of Destiny, is terrified of Chinese technology. His martial arts heart is shattered. 3,000 luck points are deducted. The host gains 30,000 villain points. Ding, Xiao Fan, the Chosen One of Destiny, has suffered severe injuries. His mental state is greatly damaged, and his mentality has collapsed. 2,000 luck points have been deducted, and the host has gained 20,000 villain points. Ding, Xiao Fan, the Chosen One of Destiny, has lost his kidney and is heartbroken. 1,000 destiny points have been deducted. The host has gained 10,000 villain points. Old Yang landed slowly without giving chase. Wang Heianen understood that this was also due to Xiao Fan's mysterious aura of luck, which made Elder Yang hesitate and thus give up the pursuit. Of course, this is mainly because Xiao Fan's luck value is relatively low, making it difficult for him to unleash his full potential and resolve the threat posed by Elder Yang's pursuit. After removing his nanotech armor, Old Yang's complexion was rosy, as if he had just warmed up. Old Yang, why didn't you pursue Xiao Fan? Wang Heianen asked, feigning ignorance. Well, Xiao Fan once saved Fifth Elder's life. I promised Fifth Elder I would let Xiao Fan go this time to repay the favor Fifth Elder owed me. Old Yang smiled kindly. Wang Hao nodded. Sure enough, the aura of destiny is unreasonable. It can let go of such a life and death feud so easily. If it weren't for the heavenly destiny villain system backing it up, playing like this would be like letting a tiger return to the mountains. By the way, why didn't you chase after him? Old Yang looked at Wang Heianen with a serious expression. I was just worried that you didn't chase after me, thinking you had some tricks up your sleeve. By the time you landed, Xiao Fan had already disappeared. Old Yang pretended to be angry. I deliberately attacked Xiao Fan's vital points just now, just to create the conditions for you to kill him, but you just stood by and watched the show. Elder Yang, didn't you say you promised Fifth Elder that you would release Xiao Fan once? Why are you blaming me now? What does my promise to the Fifth Elder have to do with you, kid? Young man, hot-blooded and impetuous, disobeyed this old man's orders and risked his life to kill Xiao Fan for the country. What can the Fifth Elder say? Surely he wouldn't make things difficult for a junior like you? Elder Yang criticized sternly. Hearing this, Wang Heianen was also stunned. He didn't expect that old Yang's thinking was so advanced. What business is it of yours, Wang Heianen, that Elder Yang promised the Fifth Elder? Okay, how do we play? No wonder they say, the art of war is deception, so that's how it's used. I've learned something new. Old Yang patted Wang Heianen on the shoulder. Kid Wang, call your grandpa. I'll get a few more people and then we'll crush that Xiao Fan together. If we delay, things might get complicated. Wang Heianen was taken aback for a moment, then quickly replied, okay, I understand. I'll tell my grandpa when I get home tonight. As expected of a veteran expert, without the influence of the intelligence-reducing aura, his methods are indeed skillful and meticulous. Old Yang, why don't you come stay at my place tonight? Isn't that obvious? I came to Jiangcheng all alone. Do you expect me to stay in a hotel? Old Yang glared at Wang Heianen, annoyed. Wang Heianen, On the other side, Xiao Fan, who had barely escaped with his life, was panting heavily, his face pale, and he lay weakly in a doghouse. Damn, I never expected China's technological development to be so rapid. It seems I can't stay in China anymore. Yang Dingshan's arrival means that the fifth elder has betrayed me. With my current reputation, those guys can't wait to get rid of me. The only course of action I can take now is to leave China temporarily and avoid the limelight. It's been a long time. Just wait, China, one day I will return. Having treated his wounds and regained some of his strength, Xiao Fan decisively sprinted towards the border. At the same time, Zhuge also arrived in Jiangcheng. Tang Weiwei, I can finally meet you. I really want to see if you are as good as brother Xiao Fan said. And Xiao Fan's daughter, she must be very cute. I wonder how brother Xiao Fan is doing now. He must be in so much pain after what happened, Zhuge sighed. The events of the past day or two have caused an uproar throughout the underground world, and even inside the Western Heaven Battle Hall, there were scattered voices mocking Xiao Fan. Zhuge smoothed her hair, hailed a ride-hailing car, and headed to her booked hotel. Chapter 15, Recruiting People. Grandpa, you know about the Western War God's infiltration of Jiangcheng, right? Wang Heianen asked tentatively. Wang Shengyuan smiled knowingly. You did it, didn't you? Xiao Yang had already explained everything that happened in Jiangcheng to him, especially the fact that Wang Heianen had inexplicably become a super war god, which even surprised him greatly. He became a super war god at the age of 25, with very mature combat experience and skills. His only weakness was his cultivation method. Wang Shengyuan had anticipated this as well. There are countless martial arts techniques in the world. Some techniques greatly enhance combat power, some have extremely strong recovery abilities, and some have extremely fast cultivation speed. Judging from Wang Heianen's performance, the cultivation method he practices should be a special auxiliary cultivation method. Nothing can be hidden from Grandpa, haha. I know about Xiao Fan's matter. I'll be in Jiangcheng tomorrow afternoon. Tell Xiao Yang to hurry up and find him. I haven't stretched my muscles in a long time. Understood, Grandpa. I'll definitely tell old Yang to get things ready quickly, Wang Heianen said happily. With his grandfather Wang Shengyuan's help, Xiao Fan, who was not yet fully developed, was no match for him at all. Others might not know, but he, with his system memories, knew that his grandfather Wang Shengyuan's cultivation had already reached the pinnacle of the ultimate war god, the pinnacle of human martial arts. With Wang Shengyuan backing them up, dealing with Xiao Fan, who only has 1/7 of his luck left, can be said to be a piece of cake. System, do I need to kill Xiao Fan myself? Ding, the host can obtain a finishing reward by personally slaying the chosen one. The host can make the decision himself. A final reward? It turns out there's a final reward for killing the chosen one. This was beyond Wang Heianen's expectations. However, Wang Heianen was not blinded by greed. Things are always unpredictable. It would be best to get the final reward, but Wang Heianen would not force it if he could not. System, is my current villain value high enough to reach the ultimate war god level? Ding, host, the required villain value for the ultimate war god cultivation level is 150,000. Your villain value is insufficient to exchange for the ultimate war god cultivation level. He has 150,000 villain points, but he only has 108,500 villain points now, which is more than 40,000 short. It's a bit difficult to deal with. Sensing Wang Heianen's inner thoughts, Chen Zhou quickly prompted him. Ding, host Suzaku, one of the 4 great generals under Xiao Fan, the chosen one, is currently in Jiangcheng. Vermilion Bird. It was like a godsend. Wang Heianen was worried about how to increase his villain points, but Zhuge delivered them to his doorstep. System, where is the Vermilion Bird located? Chen Zhou marked a small red dot on the real-time holographic positioning map. When Wang Heianen opened it, he saw that it was a hotel in the southern suburbs of the city. Having learned the location of the Vermilion Bird, Wang Heianen changed his clothes, randomly picked a luxury car from the garage, and went out. Who goes there? Suzaku looked warily out the window. A ghostly figure appeared before Suzaku, also wearing a ghost mask. Desire God, Zhuge exclaimed. The fear of the organization, Desire, was deeply ingrained in Suzaku's very bones. This organization is not only mysterious, but also has no bottom line. Ms. Suzaku, we meet again. The masked man's magnetic voice rang out. Zhuge remained silent, cautiously observing the mysterious man wearing the ghost shadow mask before her. She had no reason to believe what the man said. She had never seen this person before. She had met so many different kinds of people that even if she had seen this person before, she wouldn't remember who it was. "Speak, what do you want?" Juk gripped the short sword tightly, staring warily at the mysterious masked figure before her. Having witnessed Xiao Fan's ordeal firsthand, Juk couldn't believe that the other party had come to see her just to say a few words. "Since you've asked so sincerely, I'll mercifully tell you, of course it is." Boom! The mysterious masked figure punched Juk in the abdomen, and the powerful true energy instantly shattered Juk's dantian. "I'll kill you." The mysterious masked figure coldly stated his purpose. Suzaku knelt on the ground in agony. She had been crippled. The mysterious masked figure grabbed Juk's chin, extracted the poison she had prepared beforehand, and dragged her out of the hotel by her hair. "Suzaku, how does it feel to be crippled?" The mysterious masked figure coldly stared at Suzaku. "I have nothing to say now that I've fallen into your hands. Kill me or torture me, it's all up to you." Juk's cold gaze fixed on the mysterious masked figure. She had made thorough preparations before coming, but the pain from that punch prevented her from taking the poison in time. Wang Heianen, hidden behind the ghostly mask, glanced indifferently at Juk. The women around the Chosen One were all incredibly beautiful. The next moment, Wang Heianen suddenly broke Juk's 4 limbs, just like Juk broke a Fu's 4 limbs in the original story. Looking at Juk with his unfocused eyes, Wang Heianen felt no pity. As a capable henchman of a terrorist leader like Xiao Fan, he certainly couldn't be a good person. Wang Heianen took out Juk's phone, recorded several videos for Juk, and sent them to all the contacts listed on the phone. He also uploaded a copy to the dark web forum using Juk's account. After finishing all this, Wang Heianen sent Jiang Kaiengxia a text message. "Here's a big reward for you, address." Worried that Jiang Kaiengxia might not notice in a short time, Wang Heianen thoughtfully made a phone call. "Hello, please." Beep, the phone hung up. Jiang Kaiengxia was stunned for a moment, then dialed the number from the unfamiliar number, but no one answered. "Are you sick in the head, making harassing phone calls so late at night?" Jiang Kaiengxia retorted angrily. Exiting the dial pad, Jiang Kaiengxia opened the unknown text message she had just received. "I'm sending you a big reward, address." That's the number from earlier. Jiang Kaiengxia quickly changed her clothes and called her colleagues on duty at the Law Enforcement Bureau to rush to the address sent in the text message. 20 minutes later, Jiang Kaiengxia rushed to the scene. "What happened? How is the situation?" "Captain Jiang, we found a suspicious person. All 4 limbs are severed and he's not saying a word. We didn't dare move him and called for an ambulance. This is the cell phone we found on him." As he spoke, the law enforcement officer handed Zhu Kue's cell phone to Jiang Kaiengxia. "Captain, based on the information we found on the other person's phone, this person should be a member of some overseas terrorist organization." Jiang Kaiengxia opened her phone. There was no password, and she quickly learned Zhu's identity. Compared to ordinary law enforcement officers, Jiang Kaiengxia knew a little more information. Zhu, one of the 4 great generals of the Western Heaven Battle Hall, was crippled and thrown into the countryside for some unknown reason. They probably didn't want to escalate the situation, so the people behind the scenes made them clean up the mess. That's roughly the gist of the story. Headache. First it was Xiao Fan, the god of war of the Western Heaven, and now it's Zhu. This Western Heaven War Palace is truly endless. In the afternoon, the Western Heaven War God was defeated by the Heaven Stabilizing War God, and in the evening, the Vermilion Bird's cultivation was crippled by a mysterious person. Jiang Cheng is truly plagued by misfortune. Send him to the military hospital. As long as he doesn't die, he'll probably be executed soon, Jiang Kaiengxia said calmly. Because of her special background, Jiang Kaiengxia also knew some of the details of the battle that afternoon. Jiang Kaiengxia had her own guesses about the mysterious person she texted. Chapter 16, Jiang Kaiengxia arrives at the door. As the sun rose high in the sky, Wang Heianen walked out of the room in high spirits. His villain value had increased by another 15,000. Great. If we can also eliminate the other 3 generals, we should be able to accumulate enough villain points to exchange for the ultimate god of war. Wang Heianen slowly walked down the stairs, and the scene in front of him surprised him. Jiang Kaiengxia was sitting properly next to old Yang. "Uncle Yang, Wang Heianen is up. I'm going to find him." With that, Jiang Kaiengxia got up and walked towards Wang Heianen. Watching Jiang Kaiengxia's hurried departure, Yang Dingshan smiled and shook his head, his eyes full of affection. Young people, so good. Jiang Kaiengxia quickly walked up to Wang Heianen. Wang Heianen, I have something to ask you. Let's go to the garden. I haven't had breakfast yet. It's already 9 o'clock. Why are you still eating breakfast? You're a super warrior, you won't starve if you skip a meal. Jiang Kaiengxia stared at Wang Heianen with an unquestionable gaze, as if warning him not to refuse her. All right, Wang Heianen nodded helplessly. Wang Heianen understood that what was bound to happen would happen sooner or later, and there was no way to avoid it anyway. Wang Heianen knew that Jiang Kaiengxia would definitely guess about the text message incident last night, sooner or later. Wang Heianen, you did what happened last night, didn't you? Jiang Kaiengxia looked intently into Wang Heianen's eyes. Wang Heianen shrugged innocently. What do you mean last night? I don't know what you're talking about. I went to a nightclub last night. Really? Only a handful of people know my private number, and in Jiangcheng, you're the only one. Jiang Kaiengxia's eyes gleamed, as if she knew the whole truth. Even at this point, you still want to lie to her. Do you really think she's stupid? Jiang Kaiengxia, I don't even know what you're saying, so why are you sure it was me? Wang Heianen was still trying to argue. In Jiangcheng, the only war god-level figures are you and Uncle Yang. Zhuke is a near-war god-level expert. If it wasn't you who did it, then how could it have been Uncle Yang? That vermilion bird, what a beautiful woman. I didn't expect someone to be so decisive, defeating her in one move, crippling all 4 of her limbs. Tell me, besides a war god, who else could do that? After saying that, Jiang Kaiengxia gracefully sat down in a rocking chair and quietly waited for Wang Heianen's answer. Okay, I admit it, I really ruined Suzaku. Wang Heianen shrugged and admitted it. Jiang Kaiengxia nodded. She had long been convinced that Wang Heianen was responsible for this, and she understood that Wang Heianen did this to avoid leaving any evidence. However, she was unhappy with Wang Heianen's behavior of using her as a tool. In China, matters within the martial arts community are generally turned a blind eye as long as they don't affect ordinary people or have too serious an impact. Wang Heianen sat down next to Jiang Kaiengxia and said, Jiang Kaiengxia, you've changed. Jiang Kaiengxia was clearly taken aback for a moment. I haven't changed. I still hate evil and I still dislike you. Wang Heianen just smiled and didn't say anything. He wasn't talking about Jiang Kaiengxia. Suddenly, Wang Heianen realized that Jiang Kaiengxia in that storyline hadn't changed. She was just affected by the lower intelligence aura, preventing her from running into Xiao Fan and getting into trouble. Seeing that Wang Heianen remained silent, Jiang Kaiengxia continued to explain. In the martial arts world, not many people are clean. I'm not stubborn and don't get hung up on every little thing. By the way, Wang Heianen, could you tell me how you cultivate? If it's inconvenient, just pretend I didn't ask. Wang Heianen thought for a moment and said, Would you believe me if I said something like the yin-yang harmony skill from novels? If you don't want to talk about it, fine. Don't try to fool me with this lame excuse. Jiang Kaiengxia glared at Wang Heianen. Wang Heianen smiled helplessly. He couldn't very well say that he had a system, could he? If he did, he would be directly eliminated by the system. The two sat and chatted for a while before returning to the living room. What's wrong? Did you two have a fight? Old Yang asked with a smile. No, Uncle Yang, Wang Heianen and I aren't that close. I'm a germaphobe, Jiang Kaiengxia explained decisively. She's not crazy to date Wang Heianen. Given his womanizing nature, she just can't get over that mental hurdle. Mr. Yang, please don't try to matchmake us. My personality is simply not compatible with Jiang Kaiengxia's, Wang Heianen quickly clarified. Wang Heianen knew very well that, given Jiang Kaiengxia's personality, even if he were to turn over a new leaf and completely reform himself, he would never be able to win her over. Old Yang nodded and smiled. He was just teasing the two young people. He didn't mean anything by it. A private plane landed, and a tall, energetic old man appeared at Jiangcheng Airport. Mr. Wang, the car is ready. Please follow me. The old man nodded, exuding no imposing aura, appearing simple and natural, just like an ordinary old man. Not long after, Mr. Wang's car arrived at Wang Heianen's villa in Jiangcheng. Old Wang, Ah Fu quickly stepped forward to greet him. Ah Fu, not bad, you've grown quite a bit stronger. Old Master Wang patted Ah Fu on the shoulder. Mr. Wang, the young master and Miss Jiang are inside playing games with Mr. Yang. Let me take you in, Ah Fu said respectfully. Oh, I didn't expect Xiao Yang to know how to do these things, Grandpa Wang remarked. Ah Fu didn't dare to say anything more and quickly led old Wang to the living room. Grandfather, teacher, Grandpa Wang, the three of them quickly stood up and bowed to the old man. Xiao Yang, I didn't expect you to play these kinds of online games for young people. Teacher, I'm only 62 this year, I'm still young. Yang Dingshan scratched the back of his head with a wry smile. The average lifespan of a war god-level being is around 200 years, so 62 years old is indeed still very young. Little Jiang, Grandpa Wang, I'm here, Jiang Kaiangxia replied politely. This old woman scolded her grandfather like she was scolding her grandson. When she was little, she loved to complain to Grandpa Wang and then secretly watch him being scolded like a grandson. It's been 20 years since I last saw you. You've grown into a beautiful young woman. Old Master Wang nodded kindly. Thank you, Grandpa Wang. He then looked at his grandson, Wang Heianen, and sure enough, his grandson was still the same as when he was a child, always wanting to play. Sit down, everyone, keep playing. Don't worry about me and don't drag your teammates down. Yes, teacher. Grandpa Wang is so kind. Thank you, Grandpa. Wang Shengyuan watched this scene with a kind expression. Yang Dingshan was his prized student, a super war god, the third strongest person in China who dedicated his life to the country, which made him very gratified. Jiang Kaiangxia was the granddaughter of his old subordinate. He adored the girl and even joked with his old subordinate that he wanted Jiang Kaiangxia to be his granddaughter-in-law. Unfortunately, Wang Heianen was a good-for-nothing who was always chasing after women, so he was too embarrassed to bring it up again. Wang Heianen is his second grandson. Because Wang Heianen has an older brother, the Wang family is much more lenient with Wang Heianen and not as strict with him as they are with Wang Xuans. They didn't pay attention for a while, and that's how he ended up like this. However, the Wang family was not short of money, and Wang Heianen knew his limits, so he let him have his way. Chapter 17, Company H. 3 days later, the Wang family grandfather and grandson arrived at an overseas arms company. Company H, an overseas business of the Wang family, is one of the world's 6 major arms manufacturers and also a powerful mercenary organization. When Wang Heianen saw his family's overseas arms company for the first time, he was shocked. Grandpa, are these the Wang family's businesses outside of China? Mr. Wang nodded. H Company first emerged during the age of exploration and then rose to prominence along with the world's development, even occupying nearly 60% of the arms market at its peak. Except for nuclear weapons and some classified black technology weapons that cannot be sold, Company H has all other weapons. Even the AKs in the Western Heaven Battle Hall were supplied by small arms workshops, secretly supported by H Company. Mr. Wang, my most honored guest, welcome to base number 6. A blonde-eyed white man greeted him in fluent Chinese. Jack, long time no see. I didn't expect you to be transferred to base 6. Thank God and thank my family for raising me. Wang Shengyuan nodded calmly. These foreigners were quite capable, but they kept talking about God. This must be the second young master. I've heard of you, you're very capable. Jack smiled and extended his hand to Wang Heianen. Wang Heianen also extended his hand to shake hands with the guy named Jack. Upon entering the core area of the base, a woman with a Chinese face stood at the entrance to greet you. Grandpa, you've arrived. Wang Heianen stared at the scene in surprise. He hadn't expected that he had a cousin here. This must be Wang Heianen's cousin. It's our first time meeting and I didn't prepare a gift, so I'll give you this new gadget. With that, the woman handed over an exquisite bracelet. Chen Zhou glanced at it casually. It was an energy shield bracelet, a little gadget that could withstand the onslaught of an ordinary war god for half an hour. Thank you, cousin. Don't be so polite, we're all family. Wang Linglong smiled, covering her mouth. Her father was Wang Heianen's 7th uncle, but due to family needs, the family had been living overseas for a long time and rarely returned to China. Wang Heianen had never truly been involved in the family business and knew very little about it. He only had a superficial understanding of many things and did not know as much as Wang Xuans. Linglong, how are the personnel preparations going? Grandpa, the Blackwater Legion has assembled, and ordinary mercenaries are also arriving around the Western Heaven Battle Hall one after another. They can start at any time. Wang Shengyuan looked at his granddaughter with satisfaction. The operation will be scheduled for 5 a.m. tomorrow. Yes, Grandpa. Meanwhile, a group of mysterious people wearing cartoon masks arrived near Ares Island. These people were the main participants in the destruction of the Xiao family back then. They included ancient martial arts sects, assassin organizations, and those families that had targeted the Xiao family. I never expected there would still be remnants of the Xiao family alive. Shadow Assassin, what were you doing back then? It was done by my men. I've already dealt with the person in charge of the hunt. Shadow Assassin replied coldly. His subordinates fabricated evidence and randomly found someone to fool the organization. Such people have already been executed according to organizational regulations. Why, there's no point in saying all this now. The key is to deal with the remnants we didn't wipe out back then, otherwise our entire family will die. One of the mysterious elders calmly looked at the crowd. The Xiao family, a prominent family in the ancient martial arts world of China, was wiped out overnight. Xiao Fan was expelled from the martial arts world, and the Xiao family disciples were hunted down by the assassin organization, Shadow. They thought that with all their careful planning, the ancient martial arts Xiao family could be completely eradicated. But unexpectedly, Xiao Yifan, the eldest son of the Xiao family, escaped this calamity. He changed his name to Xiao Fan and created the colossal Western Heaven Battle Hall. If it weren't for the sudden appearance of Desire, they would all have been kept in the dark. According to intelligence, Xiao Fan was taken back to War God Island by Qinglong a day ago. The analyst paused, then continued. Currently, only 3 of the 4 great generals remain. Among them, Beihu and Xuanwu are quasi-war gods, while Qinglong is just an ordinary war god and poses little threat to us. The only one we need to be wary of is Xiao Fan. In 3 days, no one knows how much he has recovered. Everyone nodded in agreement. They already knew this information. It was like listening to a bunch of nonsense. Remember, don't talk about martial ethics or morality. Our purpose here is to kill Xiao Fan. Don't hide anything. After giving their instructions, Xiao Fan's enemies dived into the sea and swam towards War God Island. H Company's base number 6 naturally discovered the group's activities, but did not intervene further. At 5 a.m., the missiles, which had already been transported to the non-mainland area, were launched in a salvo. Boom, boom, boom. The sounds of explosions echoed through the valley, turning the night into day. Boom. Xiao Fan's bedroom collapsed with a crash. If Xiao Fan hadn't reacted quickly, he probably would have crawled out of the ground. What on earth is going on? Xiao Fan shouted angrily. At 1 a.m., I encountered a shameless assassination attempt. I had just dealt with those small fry and gone to sleep when the entire Ares Island was bombarded by missiles. Company H's missiles continued to fire relentlessly, seemingly intent on leveling Ares Island to the ground. Xuanwu and Beihu kept dodging missiles. They were not war gods and could not withstand missiles head-on. In order to survive, they could only dodge the missiles falling from the sky. Qinglong was a little more relaxed than the other 2. He was an ordinary war god and was barely afraid of ordinary missile attacks. But there were too many missiles, so he could only follow Xuanwu and Beihu to dodge left and right. Looking at War God Island, which was as clear as a sunny day, all the underworld forces trembled in fear, afraid of being caught in the crossfire of this unexpected disaster. Young Master Wang, wasn't the fireworks beautiful? Old Master Yang walked over with a big laugh. Wang Heianen nodded, deeply impressed by the first time he had witnessed a missile strike up close. This kind of attack isn't very effective against war god-level experts. An elderly war god explained kindly to Wang Heianen. Wang Heianen scratched his head. I know that, I'm just amazed by the visual effects. 10 minutes later, the bombardment ended. Action, Wang Shengyuan gave the order. Several powerful warriors, all war gods, set sail across the sea, making no attempt to conceal their intentions as they headed towards War God Island. They're here, Xiao Fan opened his eyes. The 3 men behind him, Azure Dragon, Black Tortoise, and White Tiger, had serious expressions. They knew the seriousness of the situation from the fact that the other side had such a large force. Several powerful figures stared at each other in midair. 2 super war gods, an old man whose strength is unfathomable, and 3 high-level war gods. This is the lineup of Wang Heianen's side. On the other hand, only Xiao Fan and Qinglong are warriors at the God of War level, while Beihu and Xuanwu are only quasi-gods of war. Yang Dingshan, I, Xiao Fan, believe I have done nothing to wrong China, yet I end up like this. Xiao Fan sighed. Xiao Fan, the moment you came to China to cause trouble, you became an enemy of China. Further words are useless. Let's fight. Yang Dingshan coldly stared at Xiao Fan. Chapter 18, The Difficult to Kill Xiao Fan. Aura of 100 battles. Xiao Fan roared, his aura surging, and his size instantly tripled. Then Xiao Fan took out a red vial and injected it into his neck without hesitation. Gene Serum is a special item secretly developed by the Western Heaven Battle Hall. It can stimulate human potential and temporarily and comprehensively enhance combat power. Awesome, Xiao Fan roared. As the gene serum took effect, his body size changed again, doubling in size from its original size. Yang Dingshan's expression was grim. He decisively activated his nanosuit, and his high-energy weapon locked onto Xiao Fan's head. Ha! Xiao Fan roared in fury, and pounced on Yang Dingshan with incredible speed. The Azure Dragon, Black Tortoise, and White Tiger behind him also injected themselves with similar gene-enhancing drugs. Fight, fight, fight! Xiao Fan's fighting spirit soared, and he relentlessly attacked Yang Dingshan's armor. Each attack contained boundless power, causing Yang Dingshan's armor to roar. Yang Dingshan conjured 2 laser blades in his hands, wielding them to continuously cut through Xiao Fan's protective aura. Sizzle, sizzle, tilde. Sparks flew between the two, and for a moment neither could gain the upper hand. At this moment, everyone realized how terrifying Xiao Fan was. "Big brother, let me help you," Qinglong shouted. "Your opponent is me," the high-ranking war god said with a cold laugh, a mocking glint in his eyes. Undeterred, Qinglong threw a punch with boundless power. Fist against fist, a loud bang was heard, and the Azure Dragon was blasted into the ground, raising a cloud of dust. At this moment, the difference in combat power became extremely obvious. Ordinary war gods were powerless against the attacks of advanced war gods. Useless, the old man sneered upon seeing this, a contemptuous smile on his face. Just then the Azure Dragon crawled out of the soil, its injuries completely healed. "The battle has only just begun," he roared, charging at the enemy once more. Seeing the Azure Dragon's terrifying speed of recovery, the old man was quite shocked. He threw another punch, and the Azure Dragon was once again driven into the ground. The Azure Dragon climbed out of the pit again, then was knocked back into the ground, climbed out again, and was knocked back in. On the other side, Wang Heianen also engaged in combat with Behu. Like Qinglong, Behu recovered from his injuries extremely quickly, as if he felt no pain, just like when facing a zombie. "System, what is this thing? How can it recover so quickly?" Wang Heianen asked gravely. "Ding, host, a semi-finished product of a healing-type Tier 2 gene serum. It can temporarily enhance various physical potentials and grant an exceptionally terrifying self-healing energy, drawing upon 50 years of the user's life force." "Gene serums, is this something that should exist in this world?" Wang Heianen asked in confusion. If he remembered correctly, this was an ordinary world. It was one thing for nanotech armor to appear, but now even gene serums were popping up. Was this reasonable? "Ding, host, these things originally existed in this world, but Xiao Fan didn't encounter any crisis in the original timeline, so they haven't been used." However, what Chen Zhou didn't tell Wang Heianen was that the existence of the gene serum in this world was a bug in itself, and the side quest assigned above was for Chen Zhou to fix this bug. The core ingredient for manufacturing healing-type second-order gene potions is life force, but this energy does not exist in nature in this world. To make it, one must extract the life force of living organisms as a substitute. In other words, these gene-based drugs represent countless lives, and this practice is not allowed to exist. "System, does Xiao Fan have some kind of superpower?" "Ding, host, don't worry. Superpowers don't exist in this world." Hearing the answer from the Destiny villain system, Wang Heianen finally breathed a sigh of relief. "That's good." Smack! Wang Heianen slammed the White Tiger onto the steel bars on the ground, at the perfect angle, hitting its heart squarely. The White Tiger struggled twice, then stopped moving. "Ding, congratulations, host, for killing Behu, a capable henchman of Xiao Fan, the chosen one of Destiny. 1,000 of Xiao Fan's Destiny points have been deducted, and the host has gained 10,000 villain points." Upon hearing that the villain value was incorrect, Wang Heianen immediately inquired, 10,000? "System, I remember that it was 15,000 villain value when Zhuke was excluded. How come Behu, who is also one of the 4 great generals, is only worth 10,000 villain value?" "Beep, host, are people different from each other?" "Different from one another?" Wang Heianen murmured. "Well, Zhuke is the only female among the 4 great generals, so it's normal for Xiao Fan to be a little biased. After all, she's loyal and beautiful. In the original storyline, Zhuke was Tang Weiwei's personal bodyguard with a lot of screen time, so it's reasonable that Xiao Fan valued her." Upon seeing the White Tiger killed, the others instantly realized that no matter how strong Xiao Fan's subordinate self-healing abilities were, they were still within the realm of humanity, and their vital organs remained vital organs. With these thoughts in mind, the other war gods who were dealing with Xuanwu and Qinglong suddenly became more aggressive in their attacks. Originally, They planned to drag the attack until the effects of the medicine wore off, but now that was no longer necessary. They would kill them directly to avoid any unforeseen changes. Without hesitation, the war gods joined forces. Azure Dragon and Black Tortoise were no match for them to begin with, and now that their weaknesses had been discovered, Azure Dragon and Black Tortoise followed in White Tiger's footsteps in less than 2 minutes. Wang Heianen didn't even have time to steal the kill. Ding Xuanwu, the capable henchman of Xiao Fan, the Chosen One, has died. 1,000 of Xiao Fan's luck points have been deducted. The host has gained 10,000 villain points. Ding Xiao Fan's capable Lieutenant Qinglong has died. 1,000 of Xiao Fan's luck points have been deducted. The host has gained 10,000 villain points. With the two system announcements, Wang Heianen's villain value finally reached 153,500, while Xiao Fan's luck value was only 5,500, falling below 1/10 of the perfect kill threshold, thus meeting the conditions for a perfect kill. Of course, it doesn't mean that the luck value must be lower than 1/10 of the total luck value before you can kill. Rather, when the luck value drops to 1/10 of the total luck value, killing will not result in a loss of luck. Seeing that student Yang Dingshan was locked in a stalemate with Xiao Fan, Wang Shengyuan decisively joined the fray. Boom! Wang Shengyuan's sky-piercing fist punch instantly punched a large hole in Xiao Fan's body. However, just like with the White Tiger before, the blood hole in Xiao Fan's chest healed at a speed visible to the naked eye, and the wound disappeared. Returning to simplicity, the ultimate war god, Xiao Fan looked at the old man before him with apprehension. For the first time, Xiao Fan felt a life or death crisis in this seemingly ordinary old man. Wang Shengyuan, I didn't expect you to have actually broken through to this level. Having withstood the opponent's attack head-on, Xiao Fan guessed his name. Knowing the old man's identity, Xiao Fan decisively chose to run away. Unfortunately, there is an insurmountable gap between the super god of war and the ultimate god of war. Super god of war, the strongest among the gods of war. Ultimate god of war, the strongest among the gods of war. The difference of just 2 words represents a world of difference in combat power. They are all at the god of war level, and strictly speaking, they are all in the same realm. The difference lies in their actual combat strength. Xiao Fan, hand over the gene-based drug research data, and I'll give you a quick death, Wang Shengyuan said calmly. Dream on, you old bastard. Even if I, Xiao Fan, die, I will never let you get those documents. Xiao Fan cursed as he ran. At the same time, a purple sphere of light, somewhere between reality and illusion, appeared at the base below Ares Island. Chapter 19, Mysterious Severed Hand. Chen Zhou released a mysterious energy, and the researchers in the laboratory instantly fell into a deep sleep. Chen Zhou walked to the main unit in the laboratory and refined it in an instant. 5 years ago, Xiao Fan left China and joined a mercenary team. During a mission, Xiao Fan's team fell into a trap, and only Xiao Fan managed to escape by crawling into the sewers. To evade capture, Xiao Fan, severely injured, could only continue groping his way through the sewers. Just as Xiao Fan was about to give up, the space in front of him distorted, and a mysterious giant hand fell out from it. This giant hand was as big as half of Xiao Fan's head. However, Xiao Fan, who was seriously injured and starving, didn't care about anything else and directly picked up the hand and started biting it. Unfortunately, the muscles in this mysterious giant hand were so dense that Xiao Fan couldn't even bite through it, even though his teeth were almost broken. He angrily punched the mysterious giant hand, but the hand was incredibly hard, and his punch only injured his own hand instead. Just as Xiao Fan was about to give up, he noticed that the mysterious giant hand seemed to be holding something. Xiao Fan used all his strength to pry open the large hand, which held a test tube containing a mysterious green liquid. Xiao Fan didn't know what it was, but his intuition told him that eating it would be good for him. After much deliberation, Xiao Fan, who was extremely hungry, finally chose to open the test tube and drink the green liquid in one gulp. The powerful medicinal effects instantly caused Xiao Fan to fall into a coma. When Xiao Fan woke up again, all the wounds on his body had disappeared, and his body had returned to its best condition. Sensing the changes within himself, Xiao Fan understood the extraordinary nature of this thing. After carefully storing the mysterious giant hand and the test tubes, Xiao Fan left the small Middle Eastern country and headed south until he arrived at a remote island, which is now known as War God Island. 6 months later, Xiao Fan successfully established the Western Heaven Battle Hall, becoming a major force in the underworld. 6 months later, Xiao Fan secretly built this mysterious research institute on the original foundation. Through his personal charm and various means, Xiao Fan gained the loyalty of a biological research group. The Life Research Institute has been officially launched. Using living people for experiments, Chen Zhou glanced calmly at the monitoring screen of the Life Research Institute. Immediately, Chen Zhou destroyed all the data in the laboratory and teleported to the room where the mysterious giant hand was located. It was refined and decomposed in an instant. By tracing the origins of this giant hand, Chen Zhou learned about its source. The mysterious giant hand comes from a post-apocalyptic world and is a powerful superhuman. This healing gene serum comes from that world. Theoretically, this healing gene serum can help people awaken healing abilities. However, due to the suppression of world rules, the gene serum lost its ability to awaken superpowers and could not awaken superpowers. After dealing with the mysterious severed hand, Chen Zhou went to the room where the test tubes were placed, and using the same method, completely eliminated the world bug. On the other side, Xiao Fan's pursuit intensified, with dozens of familiar figures joining the battle. Wang Shengyuan, Xiao Fan is a member of our Holy See. You cannot kill him. Fuck, Xiao Fan is clearly a distinguished guest of our pharaoh. The great pharaoh will not allow you to harm his friend. You're talking nonsense, a gloomy man shouted. Xiao Fan is clearly a citizen of my great kimchi country. He should come back to great kimchi country with me. Everyone looked coldly at this quasi-war god. Sensing the tense atmosphere, the gloomy man immediately shut up. Because the footage of Xiao Fan using the gene serum was seen by high-ranking officials from various countries, these countries sent people to intervene, wanting to capture Xiao Fan and study him. What if I don't? Wang Shengyuan looked calmly at everyone, his aura revealing itself completely. Ultimate War God, everyone exclaimed in shock. Wang Shengyuan actually reached this level. This is troublesome. Wang Shengyuan, how about we make a deal? Our great Free Federation possesses the world's most advanced technology. We will provide the technology and resources to jointly research gene-based drugs with you. An officer from the Great Free Federation, clad in metallic armor, invited. Xiao Fan suddenly sprang to his feet. He's not even dead yet, and these people are already discussing his fate. It's incredibly disrespectful. Do it, the papal bishop commanded forcefully. Xiao Fan hasn't been captured yet, so they still have a chance. As long as they capture Xiao Fan first, they can take the initiative. Stop them, Elder Lionhead roared. Stealing the pharaoh's prey right in front of him is unforgivable. Heiyunin, step back a bit and keep an eye on Xiao Fan. Don't let him escape in the chaos. Understood, Grandpa. Wang Heiyunin replied and decisively withdrew from the melee. Stop them, the commander of the Great Freedom Federation ordered. In an instant, several groups of people were locked in a fierce battle, each trying to prevent the other from getting close to Xiao Fan. Meanwhile, ranged attacks from all sides also hit Xiao Fan from time to time, keeping him in a healing state and preventing him from breaking through. Xiao Fan tried to break through the encirclement many times, but as soon as he got close to the outer edge of the encirclement, these people stopped fighting among themselves and attacked Xiao Fan together. Damn it, Xiao Fan cursed inwardly. Despite their fighting, these people were actually keeping a close eye on him. As soon as he showed any signs of trying to escape, they would immediately stop their attack and block his path. What should I do? Xiao Fan kept thinking of solutions. Suddenly, Xiao Fan thought of a brilliant way to escape and quickly rushed into the ocean. Boom, 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 tilde several torpedoes came flying in. Xiao Fan bravely withstood the torpedo and desperately dived into the deep sea. Fug chase after them. The group immediately stopped their attack and plunged into the ocean. System turn on location services. Beep location services are enabled. Wang Heiyunin zoomed in and out of the holographic location map, feigning a gritted teeth expression, and then plunged into the sea. Xiao Fan smashed a Western submarine with a single punch. The massive explosion instantly obscured visibility and blocked some of the Vatican members who were pursuing him. Boom, boom. Torpedoes continued to be fired at Xiao Fan, greatly hindering his stealth speed. Unlike land and air, water has greater resistance. Even if a torpedo doesn't cause damage, the waves and light from its explosion can still interfere with Xiao Fan. Boom! Xiao Fan destroyed another submarine, and the massive explosion helped him stop another group of people. There were far fewer people behind him, but those who remained and could keep up with Xiao Fan were all super war gods. Whoosh, Yang Dingshan fired 2 laser pulses. Damn it! Xiao Fan clutched his lower back. The intense burning sensation combined with the seawater making him wince in pain as he gulped down several mouthfuls of seawater. Immediately following, Wang Shengyuan's fist struck Xiao Fan's heart. Cough! The immense force pierced Xiao Fan's chest cavity. Xiao Fan quickly grabbed his heart and stuffed it back into its original position. Using the force of Wang Shengyuan's punch, they quickly swam towards the distance and into the depths. Yang Dingshan quickly fired several laser pulses at Xiao Fan, trying to slow down Xiao Fan's advance. Xiao Fan paused, one of the shots hitting his chrysanthemum, and he felt a strange sense of pleasure. Several torpedoes followed, and Xiao Fan quickly turned around, using the thrust of the torpedoes to instantly increase his speed. The great white shark, drawn by the smell of blood, arrived late, only to find nothing and had to leave disappointed. On the sea, Wang Heian exchanged for an invisibility talisman and followed the location to walk on the sea, steadily following above Xiao Fan's head. Chapter 20, Did Xiao Fan Commit Suicide? Boom, another large submarine exploded. Wang Shengyuan chose to avoid a direct confrontation and bypass the submarine, but Xiao Fan's figure had already disappeared. Watching the submarine wreckage sinking deeper and deeper, Wang Shengyuan sighed and surfaced. The chase in the sea had lasted for a full half-hour. Even though Wang Shengyuan is the ultimate war god, his body is also nearing its limit. We can't keep going. Wang Shengyuan took deep breaths of the fresh air. Even a god of war-level expert is not a god. They still need to breathe. Under such high-intensity combat, holding one's breath for half an hour is already the limit. If they were to continue chasing, their lives would be in danger. Teacher, where's Xiao Fan? Yang Dingshan caught up. Wang Shengyuan sighed. Xiao Fan entered the submarine and sank with it, sinking to the bottom of the sea. That makes it impossible to pursue him. The ocean here is over 5,000 meters deep, with extremely high pressure and very low visibility. Even with his nano-suit, his combat effectiveness would be greatly reduced in this environment, let alone 5,000 meters. Even a depth of 2,000 meters would be extremely dangerous for a war god-level expert. It seems Xiao Fan has chosen suicide. Yang Dingshan sighed. The plan to kill Xiao Fan was over. Wang Shengyuan shook his head. Not necessarily. Perhaps this boy wants to rely on his powerful self-healing ability to fight to the death. Hearing his teacher Wang Shengyuan's words, Yang Dingshan recalled the scene where Xiao Fan had survived even after his heart was knocked out. With such terrifying self-healing abilities, it's quite possible that he would have survived if he hadn't sunk to the bottom of the sea. Mr. Wang Shengyuan, has Xiao Fan escaped? The Great Free Federation commander's battleship arrived. Xiao Fan destroyed one of your submarines, causing it to sink to the bottom of the sea along with it, Wang Shengyuan calmly stated. I see. Mr. Wang Shengyuan, please come aboard my ship to rest. I will send someone to retrieve Xiao Fan's body. Our cooperation will remain in effect. No need, Wang Shengyuan decisively refused. That's a real shame, Mr. Wang Shengyuan. Best of luck. The commander of the Great Free Federation shrugged regretfully. He immediately turned around and ordered the salvage operation, while expanding the search area to prevent Xiao Fan from diving to the surface alive. Not long after, a giant luxury cruise ship arrived with a small number of warships, the standard on board being H Company. Soon after, several more warships arrived. The group reached a temporary agreement that some ships would divide the search area to ensure there were no blind spots. At the same time, a thorough search of Ares Island was launched, and the people in the Underground Life Research Institute on Ares Island gradually woke up. However, their memories of the gene-generating agent became hazy. They only knew that they were researching something called a curative agent, but they couldn't recall any key information, as if it had been completely erased. All the Institute's data and information disappeared without a trace, and the mysterious severed hand in Laboratory Number 1 and the mysterious test tube in Laboratory Number 2 also vanished into thin air. The captured test subjects all broke out of their cells and retaliated against the researchers, plunging the entire base into chaos. When the Blackwater Legion opened the base, all they saw were corpses. As they went deeper, the Blackwater Legion also learned the secret of this evil base, and the surviving victims were rescued one by one. All the guards and researchers at the base were dead. Surveillance footage revealed that everyone at the base had fallen into a coma for unknown reasons. While the guard in the main control room was unconscious, He accidentally pressed the button to open the cell door. As a result, those who had been captured woke up prematurely, stole the guard's weapons, and incidentally sent the guard to hell to repent. Then these people launched a vicious revenge against the researchers. The Blackwater Corps gained nothing. All the equipment at the experimental base were smashed to pieces. Finally, H Company announced the existence of the Ares Island base to the public, causing a global uproar. Major global powers demanded that H Company share the results of the Ares Island base with the world. H Company directly made all the surveillance footage from the Ares Island base public. The surveillance footage showed no signs of being falsified, and follow-up interviews with victims were also confirmed. In the end, no one mentioned the matter again. The mystery of the unconsciousness of everyone at the Ares Island base has become a new unsolved mystery in the world. As for what was originally stored in Laboratory 1 and Laboratory 2, no one knows. Everything related to the Ares Island experiment has vanished into thin air. Those who were captured know nothing, and there is no way to investigate anything. Of course, that's a story for another time. Underwater, Xiao Fan swam straight in one direction at a depth of nearly 2,000 meters. It turned out that Xiao Fan entered the submarine the instant he destroyed it. Before the seawater completely soaked the submarine, Xiao Fan quickly inhaled the fresh air inside. Once the seawater submerged the hull, Xiao Fan held his breath and sank with the submarine. When he felt he was almost at his physical limit, Xiao Fan decisively broke through a gap, and following his intuition, quickly scuba dived in one direction. Xiao Fan didn't know how deep he was from the sea, but the cold water and the pitch-black environment told him that he was safe here for the time being. Even a normal war god wouldn't dare to dive into such a deep sea, not even Xiao Fan in the past. At a depth of about 2,000 meters, his true energy was being consumed very quickly, and the immense pressure was constantly squeezing Xiao Fan's body, as if it were going to crush him into pieces. Xiao Fan could clearly feel his internal organs being constantly damaged and repaired. If it weren't for the mysterious potion from 5 years ago, he would have given up long ago. Wang Shengyuan, Xiao Fan will never forgive you, Xiao Fan roared inwardly. It hurts so much. The power of nature is such that even the god of war cannot resist it. At this moment, Xiao Fan desperately wished he could become a deep-sea fish, immune to the immense power of nature. Suddenly, several tentacles grabbed Xiao Fan's face. Giant squid, a predator in the deep sea, would be a delicacy that Xiao Fan would definitely enjoy under normal circumstances. But now Xiao Fan wanted to cry. The battle would consume his meager true energy and stamina, but there was no other way. This giant squid was taking advantage of his kindness, and he couldn't move forward without killing it. Xiao Fan stretched out his hands, pulled hard, and easily killed the giant deep-sea squid. After dealing with Xiao Fan, they continued on their way, wandering off in an unknown direction. Soon, Xiao Fan encountered several more deep-sea predators. After a few minutes, he dealt with these stepping stones and continued swimming in an unknown direction. On the sea, Wang Heianen, using an invisibility talisman, circled back and forth in a certain area. The deep sea was pitch black, and even the real-time holographic positioning image could not see anything. Although we don't know the meaning behind Xiao Fan's actions, he must have his reasons. For example, it's entirely possible to encounter attacks from deep-sea monsters, or simply get lost. In the pitch-black deep sea, with its immense pressure, it's normal to get lost. Even on land, there was a man who got lost back then, wasn't there? At a depth of 1,891 meters above sea level, Xiao Fan encountered another deep-sea monster, and was engaged in a thrilling free-for-all battle with it. Chapter 21 concludes with the death of Xiao Fan. Damn squid, one day I'll wipe you all out, Xiao Fan cursed as he swam towards the surface. After such a long period of fighting and stealth, Xiao Fan felt that his body was about to reach its limit, so he decided to risk returning to the surface of the sea to breathe. The further upstream Xiao Fan went, the more relaxed his body felt, and the more tense his nerves became. After more than 20 minutes, Xiao Fan knew he couldn't swim very far and understood that the search efforts on the surface of the sea were definitely very intense. Finding someone who knows how to hide in the ocean is more difficult than finding a needle in a haystack, but Xiao Fan was confident in himself. Suddenly, as Xiao Fan emerged from the sea, he felt his neck skin being pierced, and a familiar feeling of powerlessness instantly spread throughout his body. Damn, I was careless. Xiao Fan slowly lost consciousness, his body beginning to sink. A large hand swiftly grabbed Zio Fan's ear, and with a swift movement, the sharp blade severed Zio Fan's throat. To be on the safe side, Wang Heianen smashed Zio Fan's head to pieces, dug out and crushed his heart, shattered his dantian, and turned all the bones in his body into dust. Ding, congratulations, host, for defeating Zio Fan, the chosen one of destiny. Zio Fan's destiny points have been reduced to 0. You have gained 55,000 destiny points and one end reward. Wang Heianen stopped what he was doing only when the system announcement sounded. Finally killed him. He truly deserves the title of Child of Destiny. He's incredibly difficult to kill, Wang Heianen exclaimed. After such a long manhunt, with so many people and such a large operation, Zio Fan still almost escaped. Without the help of the Destiny villain system, even if one knew the plot in advance, it would be difficult to kill a being like the Chosen One. Ding, the system is about to be unbound. Please consume your villain points as soon as possible. Chen Zhou's cold system announcement rang out. Wang Heianen quickly snapped out of his daze. System, open the kill rewards. Ding, final reward opened. Congratulations, host, you have obtained Yin-Yang Convergence Technique, which has been automatically cultivated to its highest level. Yin-Yang Convergence Technique, a god-level cultivation technique that enhances strength through dual cultivation of yin and yang, with no cultivation restrictions. Upon seeing the description of the technique, Wang Heianen instantly became excited. It was practically a technique tailor-made for him. Perfect! From now on, he is also a man with martial arts skills. With this technique, even if his grandfather asked, he could explain the origin of his cultivation. As for the source of the cultivation method, it's quite reasonable that he stumbled upon it by chance, given his love of traveling and his extensive collection of strange and unusual items. After calming down, Wang Heianen quickly looked at his villain value. System, exchange for the ultimate war god combat power. Ding, 200,000 villain points deducted. Ultimate war god power successfully exchanged. Feeling the surging combat power within his body, Wang Heianen quickly adapted to the physical changes brought about by the increase in combat power. Ultimate God of War, the pinnacle of the God of War, transformed himself from an ordinary rich kid into the pinnacle of human combat power in less than a week, just like a dream. Ding, the system is about to unbind. The host has 15,500 villain points remaining. Please use them within 5 minutes, otherwise the remaining villain points will be forfeited. Chen Zhou's emotionless, mechanical voice rang out. Wang Heianen thought for a moment and said, System, I don't want anything. I'll give you the villain points. 5 minutes later, ding, unbinding successful. Goodbye, Wang Heianen looked at the sky. Looking back on these less than 7 days, from being bound to the Destiny villain system to Zio Fan's death, the process was full of twists and turns, just like a dream. In less than a week, Wang Heianen went from being a slightly above average ordinary person to one of the highest levels of individual human combat power. He still can't believe it. The immense power within him and the ability to walk on the sea kept telling him that it was all real. He is at the level of an ultimate war god, the ceiling of individual human combat power. The Destiny villain system, thank you. Wang Heianen waved goodbye to the sky. Wang Heianen didn't know if the Destiny villain system was still around, but he was genuinely grateful to it for saving him. After a long time, when the invisibility talisman was about to expire, Wang Heianen finally left this place of parting. Zio Fan's remains had long since sunk to the bottom of the sea, and the bloodstains had been washed away by the waves. No one noticed what had happened in this corner. Back at the Anchor space station, Chen Zhou began submitting and settling the mission. Internship Task 1-3. The Return of the God of War in the Western Paradise. Main task completion, completed. Task rating, good. Side quest completion rate, 100%. Total mission income, 75.1 origin points main mission settlement, 63 origin points, plus additional assessment reward 2.1 origin points, plus side mission settlement, 10 origin points. Remaining source points, 77.3. By reviewing the details of the first mission, Chen Zhou understood the shortcomings of his current mission. The brain drain effect has been completely removed, causing the host to become a war correspondent with insufficient participation in missions. If he hadn't been present at all the key events, the mission's assessment would at best have been qualified. The task evaluation is divided into 4 levels: qualified, good, excellent, and perfect. The reward for a perfect quest is 1/10 of that for a main quest. A perfect quest grants a 100% bonus. An excellent quest grants around 60%. A good quest grants around 30%, and a satisfactory quest grants no bonus. Side quests award rewards based on quest completion. They are side quests that are part of the main quest world and have some impact on the main quest rating, but do not determine whether the main quest is successful. The system earns a profit from the price difference when the host purchases items from the system's marketplace. The price of items like enlightenment, which boosts the host's cultivation, is determined by the system itself. After summarizing his mission experience, Chen Zhou absorbed 7.3 origin points to permanently enhance his strength, and kept the remaining 70 origin points for future use. After completing these tasks, Chen Zhou checked the internship task list. Top-notch Divine Doctor, Dragon Descending the Mountain. The world of miracle doctors is not bad. The world of the Divine Doctor Descends the Mountain is a relatively weak world among all the heavens and myriad realms, with its combat power being roughly equal to that of worlds like those of the Dragon King and the God of War. After reviewing the world's plot, Chen Zhou skillfully opened the dimensional portal. Mission world successfully locked. Dimensional anchor point successfully deployed. Upon opening the spatial passage, Chen Zhou instantly arrived in the world of Supreme Divine Doctor, Fierce Dragon Descending the Mountain. Beep, a healthy and suitable candidate has been detected, meeting the binding requirements. Binding successful. The Destiny Villain system has been successfully bound. Host Zhao Zilong. What the hell is this? Come out here right now or I'll break your legs. Ding, this system isn't anything special. It's the Destiny Villain system. I don't care if you're a thing or not. You dare to mess with me, I'll teach you a lesson. ZZZZZ tilde. Chen Zhou used electroconvulsive therapy directly. Zhao Zilong knelt on the ground, trembling. Brother, I was wrong. I will never dare to do it again. Please stop using your supernatural powers, brother. At this moment, Zhao Zilong finally understood that this was not a prank, but a real system, the kind of unscrupulous system that would shock its host at the drop of a hat. It's not a pleasant experience, but Zhao Zilong's mouth is now harder to control than an AK. With the system, he'll definitely win Su Yingsu over and marry her. Seeing the intelligence-lowering halo jumping around on Zhao Zilong's head, Chen Zhou immediately grabbed it and refined it in an instant. Chapter 22, War God World Side Story. After Chen Zhou left, Wang Heianen took a walk around and then returned to H Company's luxury cruise ship. After 3 months of continuous searching by various forces, Xiao Fan was still nowhere to be found, and the salvage plan was eventually abandoned due to its high difficulty. However, the various factions did not give up and issued bounty missions for Xiao Fan, but still, they did not get anything. After spending 2 months with various powerful groups in the Atlantic, the Wang family issued a high-value bounty and then left. A month later, the various forces gradually withdrew their ships, and the Xiao Fan incident temporarily came to an end. Wang Heianen went straight back to the capital, beat up Wang Xuance with his own strength, and then went on a trip. A year later, Wang Heianen shamelessly confessed his feelings to Jiang Kaiengxia, and unsurprisingly, he was rejected. Wang Heianen wasn't angry. He secretly went to the Jiang family to propose marriage to Old Master Jiang. When Jiang Kaiengxia found out, she went back and beat Wang Heianen up, though he wasn't hurt at all. However, Wang Heianen's plan failed, and the two remained just ordinary friends, their relationship remaining lukewarm. Fortunately, Wang Heianen didn't pursue the matter further, and returned to his life of debauchery and travel. Tang Weiwei raised Tang Lil alone. Due to the impact of the Xiao Fan incident, Tang Weiwei did not tell Tang Lil that Xiao Fan was her father. As Tang Lil grew older, she stopped asking about her biological father, and everything proceeded smoothly. Until the very last moment of Tang Weiwei's life, Tang Lil was unaware that Xiao Fan was her father. Jiang Kaiengxia remained her law enforcement captain. After the Xiao Fan incident, she successfully wiped out all the underground forces in Jiangcheng, fulfilling her promise to Wang Heianen. However, Jiang Kaiengxia refused the promotion and stayed on the front line as her law enforcement captain. During this time, Wang Heianen visited Jiang Kaiengxia twice, but his confessions lacked sincerity, and Jiang Kaiengxia did not accept them. 6 years later, Heianen, you're not young anymore. It's time to get married and settle down. Wang Heianen laughed indifferently. Mom, with my reputation, what family would really want to marry their daughter to me? Your brother and sister-in-law already have 3 children, and all you do is play around. Let me tell you, if you don't get married soon, I'm cutting off your allowance. Wang's mother threatened sternly. Wang Heianen didn't take it seriously. With his current strength, he had people to serve him wherever he went, so cutting off his allowance was no threat to him at all. Mom, stop pressuring me. All I want in this life is to marry Jiang Kangxia. If you can convince her to be your daughter-in-law, I'll marry her immediately. Wang Heianen, as always, passed the buck to Jiang Kangxia. He knew Jiang Kangxia wouldn't agree, so he kept using her as a shield to pressure her into marriage. All right, you said it yourself. A hint of smugness appeared in the Queen Mother's eyes. Just as Wang Heianen was wondering, Jiang Kangxia actually sat down opposite him, looking at him with a smile. No, Mom, what's Jiang Kangxia doing here? What, didn't you say you'd agree just because Kangxia said so? Now that Kangxia has agreed, get ready, the wedding will be next month. Wang's mother held Jiang Kangxia's small hand with a satisfied expression. No, this. Wang Heianen opened his mouth, speechless. Isn't this a bit surreal? He pursued her several times before, but she wouldn't agree. But now that he's stopped pursuing her, Jiang Kangxia has actually agreed. What exactly is going on? Jiang Kangxia, are you really willing to marry me? Wang Heianen asked incredulously. Jiang Kangxia nodded. Heianen, haven't you always wanted to be with me? I agree now. Why don't you reconsider? Please don't act impulsively. Wang Heianen looked at Jiang Kangxia with a serious expression. Jiang Kangxia's eyes darted away slightly. Heianen, I've thought it over. I won't regret marrying you. In fact, Jiang Kangxia was also being pressured to get married. Her grandfather and parents had been arranging blind dates for her. And because of this, many people who wanted to use the Jiang family's influence confessed their feelings to her. Jiang Kangxia was extremely annoyed and met with several people. But after talking to them, she found that these people were not as good as Wang Heianen. Instead of hanging out with those people, I'd rather come find this childhood sweetheart, this idiot. Although Wang Heianen used to be a bit lecherous, he met her requirements in other aspects. Compared to his other suitors and blind date partners, Wang Heianen was much more lovable. Wang Heianen nodded. All right then. If Jiang Kangxia isn't afraid, what does he have to be afraid of? A month later, the wedding was held as scheduled, and the newlyweds walked hand in hand into the hall of marriage. Jiang Kangxia, what are you thinking? Why did you suddenly agree to marry me? Wang Heianen lifted Jiang Kangxia's red veil. Who told you to use me as a shield every year? Now I can't take it anymore, it's that simple. Jiang Kangxia looked directly into Wang Heianen's eyes with a righteous indignation. To be honest, she had a good impression of Wang Heianen, but he used to be too much of a womanizer, and she, having just graduated, disliked that kind of behavior. Later, Wang Heianen turned over a new leaf, and his behavior became impeccable. She had also seen all kinds of human nature, and was no longer the stubborn Jiang Kangxia she once was. Wang Heianen lifted Jiang Kangxia's chin, revealing a wicked smile. His eyes held a mixture of coldness, mockery, and nonchalance. Woman, you've successfully caught my attention. Get out! Jiang Kangxia slapped Wang Heianen's hand away in displeasure. Wang Heianen shook his hand and gently stroked Jiang Kangxia's hair. Woman, you're playing with fire. Is this never going to end? Jiang Kangxia raised her foot and kicked him. However, Wang Heianen was a war god, and Jiang Kangxia's jade feet couldn't kick him at all. Instead, they were gently held by Wang Heianen. Wang Heianen, let go of me. Jiang Kangxia struggled, her face flushed. Wang Heianen pounced on her, saying, Jiang Kangxia, you jumped in here yourself. Wang Heianen, you. Before Jiang Kangxia could finish speaking, Wang Heianen kissed her directly. After a long while, their lips parted. Kangxia, what were you trying to say just now? Wang Heianen looked at Jiang Kangxia affectionately. It's nothing. Jiang Kangxia turned her face away. I hadn't noticed before, but this guy actually has captivating eyes. It's unbearable. Jiang Kangxia felt that if she stared at this idiot for a few more seconds, she would probably fall for him. Nothing more was said that night. The next day, Jiang Kangxia and Wang Heianen took a walk hand in hand in the garden. Wang Heianen also imparted the yin-yang convergence technique to Jiang Kangxia without reservation. Just like when he told his brother back then, Jiang Kangxia, who knew about his cultivation technique, looked at him with a strange expression. His eyes revealed a blatant disdain for Wang Heianen's god of war cultivation. However, Wang Heianen didn't mind. He would like this technique after using it a few more times. Just like his brother Wang Xuance, ever since he practiced the yin-yang convergence technique, he not only managed to win over his sister-in-law, but also had 3 children. Even his own cultivation level is almost at the level of a quasi-war god, a truly peerless skill. After using it only twice, Jiang Kaiengxia clearly found that her physical fitness had improved a lot. Using this idiot as a furnace didn't seem so bad. One day, she will make Wang Heianen realize who the real king or queen of this family is. 7 years after Chen Zhou left, Wang Heianen, now in his 30s, and Jiang Kaiengxia finally got married. Volume 1 complete. Chapter 23, Young Master Zhao Stops Licking. Zhao Zilong was momentarily dazed. Recalling his experiences over the past few years, he wished he could punch his former self to death. He is the eldest son of the prestigious Zhao family, the sole heir of the Zhao family, the head of the 5 major families in Shanghai. He has been pampered since childhood, receiving the best education and having everything he could want. Yet, in recent years, he seems to have lost his mind and has gone to fawn over the president of a small cosmetics company. That's absolutely incredible. System, could you please tell me why I'm like this? Zhao Zilong couldn't figure out the reason, so he had no choice but to ask the system for help. Beep, the merging of the original timeline storylines has begun. A massive flood of memories surged into Zhao Zilong's mind like a tidal wave. Zhao Zilong felt as if his head was about to explode. The intense pain caused his vision to go black, and he fainted. An hour later, Zhao Zilong slowly opened his eyes, and then he understood. The world he lived in had a fixed plot. He was just one of the villains, while Su Yingsu was one of the female leads. How could a villain possibly win the heart of a female lead? In the storyline, after years of unsuccessful pursuit of Su Yingsu, he was spurred on by Lin Yi, the chosen one of destiny, and his IQ dropped to 0. He kidnapped Su Yingsu with the intention of committing a crime, but Lin Yi arrived at the critical moment and performed a heroic rescue, successfully winning Su Yingsu's heart. Zhao, the young master, became a laughingstock in Shanghai. Enraged, he sought revenge on Lin Yi, but Lin Yi thwarted his plans one by one. In the end, the Zhao family became a stepping stone for Lin Yi to make a name for himself in China, while Zhao was turned into a fool by Lin Yi, reduced to a beggar, and finally froze to death in an abandoned train station. Lin Yi, a frenzied killing intent flashed in Zhao Zilong's eyes. It's quite early now. Exactly the day before Lin Yi came down the mountain with 10 marriage certificates to Shanghai. System, can I send someone to kill Lin Yi right now? Ding, the chosen one is protected by an aura of destiny, making it extremely difficult to kill using ordinary methods. It is recommended that the host suppress the chosen one's destiny first, and then kill them when their destiny reaches the kill threshold. Can't even be killed by heavy weapons. Ding, yes, even heavy weapons couldn't kill the chosen one in the early stages. Chen Zhou's cold system voice rang out. I see, Zhao Zilong nodded thoughtfully. If conventional methods don't work, it seems we have no choice but to approach it from other angles. System, what functions do you have? Ding, this system is the Destiny Villain system, possessing numerous functions. The host can purchase anything from the system's shop that can be used to deal with the chosen one. That's it. Ding, yes, host. These are the main functions of this system. Other functional services can be exchanged using villain points as long as they do not violate the system's principles. The Destiny Villain system has comprehensive yet ordinary abilities. It's simply a matter of exchange. Knock, knock, knock. The bedroom door suddenly rang. Zhao Zilong glanced at the time. It was 11:20 a.m., the same time he usually went to Su Yingsu's office building to propose. Zhao Zilong opened the door, and Uncle Fu stood outside with a kind smile on his face. Young master, it's almost Miss Su's time to get off work, Butler Fu reminded him respectfully from the doorway. Zhao Zilong remained calm and spoke in a flat tone. Uncle Fu, you can go and rest now. I won't go there again, and you don't need to order flowers from the florist anymore. Upon hearing the young master's words, a hint of surprise flashed in Uncle Fu's eyes, but more than that, he felt delighted and gratified. Young master, he stopped licking it. Uncle Fu was secretly pleased, and a relieved smile appeared on his face. Young master, then I'll go downstairs and have the cook prepare lunch, Uncle Fu said with a kind smile. Please deliver it directly to my room in a moment. I have something to take care of. Yes, young master, Uncle Fu withdrew. Zhao Zilong returned to his room, turned on his computer, created a new file, and typed out the names of all the people related to Lin Yi in the original storyline. He then listed in detail the main events that led to their connection with Lin Yi. Tomorrow, Lin Yi will encounter Su Yingsu, who has been robbed as he exits the train station. Lin Yi will then jump out and fight off the robbers. Just then, Su Yingsu discovers that she has sprained her ankle, and Lin Yi will helpfully treat her. This was the first time Su Yingsu and Lin Yi met, and it was also an opportunity for Lin Yi to show off his abilities in front of Su Yingsu. However, now that Zhao Zilong knows the plot, he naturally won't give Lin Yi a chance to gain favor. Yingsu, it's almost noon again. That young Master Zhao is probably already downstairs waiting. When should we go down? Su Yingsu's best friend and secretary, Qin Kexin, teased with a smile. Su Yingsu pinched Qin Kexin's cheek. You little rascal, Qin Kexin, now you even dare to joke about me. Abah, abah. Qin Kexin's words were mumbled by Su Yingsu. After Su Yingsu let go, Qin Kexin rubbed the spot where she had been pinched with a resentful look on her face. Heh, you bad woman, you just know how to bully me. I'm ignoring you. This month's bonus is 10,000. Sister Su, please feel free to torment this little girl. Qin Kexin immediately changed her tune, placing Su Yingsu's hand on her chubby little face. Ha, a woman who only cares about money. Su Yingsu rolled her eyes at Qin Kexin. He, Qin Kexin wasn't angry at all. She directly took Su Yingsu's arm and tentatively said, Yingsu, young Master Zhao is so infatuated with you, why don't you consider it? Su Yingsu angrily shook off Qin Kexin's hand that was holding hers. Seeing this, Qin Kexin quickly grabbed Su Yingsu's sleeve and said, I'm sorry, Yingsu, I was just joking with you. Don't be angry. If you don't like that young Master Zhao, then just ignore him. Hearing Qin Kexin's sincere apology, Su Yingsu's expression softened, but she still glared at Qin Kexin angrily. Don't make jokes like that again next time. Qin Kexin nodded repeatedly, smiling and promising. I know I won't do it again next time. By the way, Yingsu, what are you planning to do about that young Master Zhao later? Su Yingsu frowned, pondered for a moment, and then said, Kexin, just tell him I'm not here and don't pay any attention to what he says. If he doesn't leave, just let him stand outside. Qin Kexin nodded, revealing a sly smile. Okay, then I'll wait and see the show. However, with young Master Zhao being so persistent, sending flowers every day, Yingsu, haven't you considered it? Su Yingsu sighed helplessly. I don't know what he likes about me, but I just don't feel anything for him. Right now, I just want to focus on making the company stronger, and I don't want to be in a relationship. Qin Kexin nodded thoughtfully. Downstairs, a group of elderly men and women stood quietly waiting in the distance from Yingsu Beauty Company, as was their custom. Young Master Zhao would arrive at this cosmetics company every noon to confess his love, using blue roses that were air-freighted in, which he would then throw away after each confession. Over time, elderly people and young college students from the surrounding area came over and squatted down. They waited in the distance before Zhao Xiao left, knowing that the roses would be theirs once he was gone. If you're lucky, you can earn 200 or 300 yuan by selling the roses you find in a few tens of minutes to a florist, which adds up to about 6,000 yuan a month. Even some recent college graduates couldn't resist joining the team. After a long time, the flower delivery driver still hadn't started arranging the flowers. Strange, why aren't these people arranging flowers? Is young Master Zhao sick and unable to come today? Is the flower delivery person trying to pocket the money? Young Master Zhao has persevered through thick and thin all these years. I will not allow you to curse young Master Zhao. What, young Master Zhao isn't coming, and he won't be coming in the future? The driver delivering the flowers was utterly shocked. He's been doing this easy job of delivering flowers to young Master Zhao for 5 years. He only needs to deliver the flowers in the morning and arrange them. He doesn't even have to clean them up himself. He earns 30,000 yuan a month. Telling him now that he's unemployed is a huge shock. Xiao Chen, I know you don't believe me, but Zhao Xiao's men just called me to cancel my order and told me I don't need to order flowers from Huadu anymore. We've been working together for years, would I lie to you? The truck driver nodded. Okay. The driver hung up the phone and drove away. Since young Master Zhao was no longer going to be a sycophant, this was the last fare he could earn. No, what's going on? This driver really pocketed it all. They're leaving already. Come again tomorrow. There might be some special circumstances today. Sigh, everyone couldn't help but sigh. Chapter 24, Giving Lin Yi a Lesson. Qin Kexin looked completely bewildered. Qin Kexin checked the time on her phone. It was indeed 12:01, but there was no one outside the company. Where is he? Where is such a big guy like young Master Zhao? And what happened to the flower transport truck? Where did such a large special truck for transporting flowers go? She clearly saw the car when she was upstairs, but about 20 minutes later it was gone. Security, security. Qin Kexin quickly called for security. Secretary Qin, what's wrong? What happened? A middle-aged security guard hurried over, a professional fake smile plastered on his face. Qin Kexin asked in confusion, where's the car that delivered the flowers? Why is it gone? Secretary Qin, you mean the float? It left about 20 minutes ago. It seems the driver received a phone call, then closed the door and drove off, the security guard calmly recounted. They just left like that? Chin Kexin murmured in confusion. That's unreasonable. Given how infatuated young Master Zhao is, it really shouldn't be like this. Just a few days ago, young Master Zhao asked her to help him matchmake. How come he suddenly stopped pursuing him? This is not scientific. Secretary Chin, are you all right? The security guard called out politely. It's nothing, I'm fine, you can go back now. Chin Kexin quickly replied, then turned and went back to the company building. That's ridiculous, the security guard muttered. Back upstairs, Chin Kexin rushed to Su Yingsu's private lounge. Yingsu, something terrible has happened. Upon hearing Chin Kexin's words, Su Yingsu's heart tightened, thinking that a major problem had occurred in the company. Su Yingsu hurriedly stood up from her seat and asked with a serious expression, "What happened? Is the company in trouble?" Chin Kexin shook her head and said breathlessly, No, Yingsu, it's that young Master Zhao didn't come. He didn't come, that's perfect, it's best if he doesn't bother me, Su Yingsu said happily. That's true, Chin Kexin quickly realized. Young Master Zhao has been pursuing Su Yingsu for many years, but Su Yingsu has always politely declined, saying that she doesn't want to be in a relationship. For so many years, it has indeed been Zhao Zilong's wishful thinking. Su Yingsu was worried about being suppressed by the Zhao family, so she never dared to refuse too directly. Now that Zhao Zilong is no longer pursuing, isn't that a wonderful thing? Yingsu, but Chin Kexin suddenly thought of something. There's no buts about it. It's best if he doesn't bother me. Come on, Kexin, I'll take her out to celebrate. Su Yingsu was in a great mood. Without Zhao Zilong blocking the door, she felt much more at ease. Chin Kexin glanced at Su Yingsu's beaming smile and temporarily suppressed the thoughts in her mind. Young Master Zhao shouldn't terminate the contract, right? He shouldn't, Chin Kexin convinced herself. Yingsu Beauty's office building belongs to the Zhao family. Back then, in order to please Su Yingsu, Zhao Dashao gave the entire building to Su Yingsu at a very low price. However, Su Yingsu did not accept it and only agreed to rent it for office use. Seeing Chin Kexin still lost in thought, Su Yingsu pinched Chin Kexin's chubby cheeks. Kexin, what are you thinking about? Do you still want me to treat you to dinner? Chin Kexin winced in pain and angrily grabbed Su Yingsu's delicate hand. Come on, today I'm going to kill you, you wicked woman. Let's see what you can do. Su Yingsu smiled and walked ahead. Chin Kexin followed behind excitedly, having long forgotten about the property development. The next morning, having done his homework in advance, Zhao Zilong chose the most inconspicuous car and quietly arrived at Shanghai West Railway Station. The pre-arranged reception staff also arrived at their respective locations one after another. 2.5 hours later, a train from the Western Mountains slowly came to a stop. Shanghai, the big city, here I come, shouted a young man dressed in patched clothes and carrying a tattered burlap sack. You're crazy. There's something wrong with his brain. You country bumpkin, you have no culture. Immediately, whispers and pointing sounds came from the surrounding area. Lin Yi ignored the city folks, picked up his sack and strode off the train. Shanghai, a world-class metropolis, I'm determined to make a name for myself here, Lin Yi thought to himself. Hello, sir, we are the Shanghai Civilization Co-Construction Company. You are fortunate to be our 99,999th lucky guest. A man in a suit and glasses hurriedly ran to Lin Yi's side. Shanghai Civilization Co-Construction Company? Never heard of it, Lin Yi said naively. His master had warned him that big cities are full of tricks, and that he should be careful when he came to big cities and never trust others easily. Sir, it's like this. Our company's mission is to welcome every guest who comes to Shanghai and let them feel the warmth of the people of Shanghai. It just so happens that our company is currently running a warmth and care campaign, and you happen to be our 99,999th lucky guest, enjoying our premium complimentary service. We already have 98,781 guests who have given us 5-star reviews, the man in the suit explained with a smile. Lin Yi looked around and noticed that someone had just become the 100,000th lucky VIP, and there were also a group of people following these men in suits and sunglasses towards the exit of the train station. Seeing this, Lin Yi lowered his guard and said, Then I will respectfully comply. Having hosted over 90,000 lucky VIPs, this company is clearly a large and reputable entity. They wouldn't lie to anyone. Sir, may I ask your surname? I'd like to write it down. The man in the suit and sunglasses took out a notebook. Seeing how professional the other person was, Lin Yi completely let down his guard. Hello, my name is Lin Yi. Mr. Lin, please let me carry your luggage. The man in the suit and sunglasses smiled and extended his hand. Lin Yi quickly hugged the sack tightly. I'll carry it myself so you don't get your clothes dirty. All right, Mr. Lin, please follow me. The man in the suit maintained his smile. Lin Yi nodded and happily followed. Outside the train station, just as the thugs were about to commit robbery, they were immediately subdued and taken away by Zhao Zilong's men who had been lying in ambush nearby. No one was surprised. It's normal for plainclothes law enforcement officers to be present at a train station. Su Yingsu stood there stunned, feeling a wave of fear wash over her. The assailant had been so close to her just now. Thankfully, there were plainclothes law enforcement officers nearby who subdued him. On the other side, Lin Yi, who had just stepped out of the train station, spotted a beautiful woman in the crowd who caught his eye. She seemed to be waiting for someone. No wonder it's a big city, there are so many beautiful women. If I have the chance, I definitely want to go up and get to know them, Lin Yi thought to himself. As Lin Yi passed by Su Yingsu, who stood out from the crowd, he suddenly felt a pang in his heart, as if he had lost something important in his life, and a deep sense of loss welled up in his heart. Mr. Lin, what's wrong? The man in the suit and sunglasses asked with concern. Lin Yi shook his head. It's all right, let's keep going. Ding, the host has ruined one of Lin Yi's chances to show off, deducting 1,000 of Lin Yi's luck points. The host has gained 10,000 villain points. Information about the Chosen One. The Chosen One, Lin Yi Divine Doctor. Gender, male. Age, 21. Combat strength. Mid-stage of the Transcendent Realm, capable of fighting ordinary grandmasters. Faction, none. Cultivation techniques. Xuanyang Gong, Ghost Gate Medical Classic. Skills, Master-level Racing, Master-level Appraisal, Master-level Painting, Expert-level Jade Gambling, Expert-level Piano, and a complete legal illiterate. Luck value, 85,000, originally 86,000. Luck level, white. Chapter 25, Lin Yi enters the police station. Young master, the things have been brought. A bodyguard respectfully handed over a small plastic bag. Inside the bag were 10 yellowed sheets of paper and several old banknotes. Zhao Zilong glanced through them and realized that the 10 yellowed sheets of paper were the 10 marriage certificates that Lin Yi had in the original story. Zhao Zilong wrote down the 10 names on the marriage certificate on his phone, then took out a windproof lighter and personally lit the 10 marriage certificates, watching them turn to ashes. Marriage certificate, huh? Favors, huh? I'll destroy all that evidence first, then let's see how you managed to come here and act all high and mighty. Sir, I've been framed. They stole my things. I just came out to get them back. I didn't expect them to try to assault me. I had no choice but to fight back in self-defense, Lin Yi shouted passionately. Officer, don't listen to this man's nonsense. This guy suddenly rushed out and caused trouble. I was worried he might be mentally unstable and harm other guests, so I called security. Who knew this guy would dare to attack a security guard? He's completely lawless, the receptionist quickly explained. You're talking nonsense. It's clearly your store that's shady. You stole my things when I wasn't looking, and when I came back to ask for them back, you sent people to beat me up, Lin Yi argued. Officer, he's lying. We're the largest foot massage center in China. How could we possibly steal from an ordinary customer? The law enforcement officers nodded. Witch Foot Bath is the leading foot bath company in China, with branches all over the country. They certainly had no reason to steal other people's property. It's even less likely that they would ruin their own reputation. Sir, you are now involved in disorderly conduct. You need to come with us. The law enforcement officer looked at Lin Yi with a serious expression. You're colluding with officials and businessmen. I won't accept this. Lin Yi was so angry he was practically spitting fire. Sir, please cooperate. The law enforcement officers drew their guns, their expressions serious. Seeing this, Lin Yi had no choice but to obediently raise his hands in surrender. He wasn't afraid of the small pistols, but rather worried about being wanted by the authorities and bringing shame upon his master. Tilde. And just like that, Lin Yi went straight to the police station as soon as he left the train station. Ding, the host has destroyed the marriage certificate of Lin Yi, the chosen one of destiny, thus disrupting Lin Yi's initial recognition relationships with several female protagonists. 10,000 of Lin Yi's destiny points have been deducted, and the host has gained 100,000 villain points. 100,000, that's so much. Zhao Zilong couldn't stop smiling as he saw this windfall. System, open the system shop, Zhao Zilong shouted boldly. Peak Ming Jin cultivation level, 10,000 villain points. Peak of Dark Force cultivation, 50,000 villain points. Peak Transcendent Realm Cultivation, 100,000 Villain Points. 13 Ghost Needles, 50,000 Villain Points. Ghost Gate Medical Manual, 200,000 Villain Values. Tei Medical Classic, 350,000 Villain Values. Standard Pistol, 100 Villain Points. Standard Rifle, 500 Villain Points. Barrett Heavy Sniper Rifle, 1,000 Villain Value. Light Tank, 20,000 Villain Points. Scapegoat Doll, 8,000 Villain Points. Self-Destructing Doll, 6,000 Villain Points. Grandmaster Tranquilizer Gun, 1,500 Villain Points. Fusion and Enhancement Device, 2,000 Villain Values. 10 Fragrant Elixir Dissipation Powder, 3,000 Villain Points. Real-Time Holographic Positioning, 1,000 Villain Points. Invisibility Charm, 10,000 Villain Points. Earth Destruction Bomb, 10 million Villain Values. Genetic Extinction Weapon, 1 million Villain Values. Zhao Zilong was greatly shocked by the dazzling array of products in the system's shop. As expected of the Destiny Villain system, the system shop has everything imaginable, including things that exist in this world and things that don't. Looking at all these diverse items, Zhao Zilong finally decided, "System, I want to purchase the Peak of the Transformation Realm Cultivation." Ding, 100,000 Villain Points deducted. Congratulations, host. You have achieved Peak Transcendent Realm Cultivation. A surge of immense power suddenly filled his body, and Zhao Zilong felt that he was now terrifyingly strong. To test this idea, Zhao Zilong threw a heavy punch at the big tree next to him. Smack! The tree, which was over 9 meters tall, snapped in two instantly. Zhao Zilong stared blankly at the tree he had knocked down with a single punch, swallowing hard. Is this the power of the Peak of the Transcendent Realm? It's truly formidable. The bodyguard stared blankly at the young master who had broken the tree. His eyes glazed over. Is this still their young master? He broke a tree thicker than their heads with a single punch. Is this them protecting their young master, or the young master protecting them? Is this reasonable? Is this normal? Zhao Zilong swung his arm. This punch was the tree's limit, not his. To test it properly, I'll have to go back and find some professional equipment. Cough, cough. Zhao Zilong coughed twice on purpose. Young master, what is it? A bodyguard quickly snapped out of his daze. Please open the door for me. I'm going home now. Yes, young master. The bodyguard quickly opened the car door. Zhao Zilong was very cautious, afraid that he might lose control of his strength and accidentally ruin the car. Back at the Zhao family villa, Zhao Zilong instructed Uncle Fu to have a bunch of martial arts-specific strength testing tools purchased, so he could test his own strength. At the peak of the Transcendent Realm, Zhao Zilong was 1 level higher than Lin Yi, the Chosen One. Although he knew he couldn't defeat Lin Yi if he wanted to leave, Lin Yi couldn't stop him. Slap, slap. Zhao Zilong broke and pierced through the steel plate with 2 punches, and kicked down a wall with a powerful kick, making Uncle Fu gasp in shock. Is this really the young master? He's so strong. Judging from his performance just now, the young master's strength is probably even greater than that of a veteran master of the Transcendent Realm. Even in the entire Dragon Kingdom, a Transcendent Realm expert is a top-tier existence. In this era where grandmasters are rare, the Transcendent Realm represents the pinnacle of personal martial prowess. So all these years, the young master wasn't really a sycophant, but rather biding his time. If Madam and Master knew this, they would surely be very happy. System, is there a shortcut to controlling my power? I feel a bit out of place, Zhao Zilong asked helplessly. After training for half a day, the gains were minimal. The power of the peak of the Transcendent Realm is indeed not so easy to control. Host, yes, there is. A skillful manipulation technique that allows you to perfectly control your own power. Worth 10,000 villain points. Excellent value for money, you deserve it. Chen Zhou immediately took out the skill package he had sold to Wang Heianen in the previous world. 10,000 villain points, I'll buy it. Zhao Zilong gritted his teeth and took it directly. Ding, 10,000 villain points deducted from the host. Proficient level power control skill pack successfully purchased. Congratulations, host. You have obtained proficient level power control skill. An unseen energy flashed by, and Zhao Zilong's mind instantly gained a lot of experience in controlling power, while his body suddenly gained a lot of muscle memory. Zhao Zilong suddenly felt much lighter, and his control over his body was significantly enhanced. To test a certain hypothesis, Zhao Zilong randomly picked a poison car and drove towards his old friend's nightclub. Chapter 26, Reclaiming All Cooperation. When the sun was high in the sky, Zhao Zilong emerged from the presidential suite, full of energy. As expected of someone with such masterful control over force, it's terrifying. Chen Zhou, he never imagined that the control technique could be used in this way. It was like a small knife poking his anus. It was an eye-opener. It seems there's room for this experience pack to increase in price. It's excellent value for money. Zhao Zilong is truly a genius. After verifying his suspicions, Zhao Zilong drove to the Changsheng Group building. Changsheng Group, a personal enterprise built by Zhao Zilong, grew into a large company with assets of 800 billion yuan in just 5 years, thanks to his own knowledge and the connections of the Zhao family. This is under the condition that Zhao Zilong is only a sycophant. If Zhao Zilong were to focus on his career, the Changsheng Group would only be larger. "Mr. Zhao, you've arrived." The secretary quickly stood up to greet him. Zhao Zilong nodded. "Secretary Liu, bring over all the contracts between Changsheng and Yingsu Beauty." Yes, Secretary Liu was puzzled, but still followed Zhao Zilong's orders and brought over all the contracts previously signed with Yingsu Beauty. Speaking of Yingsu Beauty, Secretary Liu truly felt sorry for Zhao Zilong, but there was nothing she could do since her boss was such a sycophant. He has been selflessly protecting Yingsu Beauty, both openly and secretly. He has provided the best office building and the best shopping mall entrance. Whatever the Changsheng Group has, his boss will find a way to give it to that woman. In an effort to win over that Su Yingsu, the boss even went to deliver flowers to her every day at noon for 5 years without fail, rain, or shine. Even the initial opposition from the company was swayed, but the woman remained unmoved. Now the boss wants to see the contract between Changsheng and Yingsu Beauty, so he'll probably have to send money there again. "Sai, there's nothing I can do. This boss is so stubborn. I can only try to find a way to leave a way out in the contract." Zhao Zilong looked at the dozens of contracts signed over the past 5 years word by word and found that there were no problems with any of them. Breaching the contracts would not cause any loss to Changsheng Group. As expected of Secretary Liu, he is meticulous in his work. But you can't stop him from being a rascal, so he tries to manipulate the contract and leave himself an escape route. "Secretary Liu, please notify the Public Relations Department to issue a statement. Changsheng has unilaterally terminated all cooperation with Yingsu Beauty." At the same time, Yingsu Beauty was notified to move out of the Zhenjin building within 2 days and restore the building to its original condition. Upon hearing this instruction, Secretary Liu's eyes widened, but he quickly regained his composure, nodded, and said, "Okay, boss, I'll handle it right away." The fact that Changsheng Group and Yingsu Beauty had been cooperating for many years and suddenly announced the cancellation of their cooperation will undoubtedly cause a huge uproar. The demand that Yingsu Beauty move out of the Zhenjin building and restore it to its original state within just 2 days signifies a complete break. Once these 2 news items are announced, the entire business world of Shanghai will undoubtedly be shaken up, and even the beauty industry will be greatly affected. At 10:00 a.m., Changsheng Group suddenly announced the termination of all cooperation with Yingsu Beauty. This incident caused a huge stir in the entire business district of Shanghai. Everyone knows that the boss of Changsheng Group is the only heir of the Zhao family. He is young, promising, and rich, and is recognized as the most affectionate person in Shanghai. He is a simp. As everyone knows, the owner of Yingsu Beauty is one of the 4 beauties of Shanghai, and the woman that young Master Zhao has been trying to woo for 5 years without success. Everyone in Shanghai knows about their relationship. It's like offering a warm face to an iceberg, and it's lasted for 5 years without any change. Zhao Shao is truly devoted. The story behind Changsheng Group's sudden announcement of severing ties with Yingsu Beauty is quite intriguing. For a time, all sorts of rumors circulated, such as young Master Zhao has fallen in love with someone else. Su Yingsu doesn't like men. Young Master Zhao has amnesia. Young Master Zhao has turned over a new leaf. Young Master Zhao has become gay, and so on. However, it is certain that due to Changsheng Group's announcement, many companies have temporarily suspended their cooperation with Yingsu Beauty and chosen to wait and see. On the other hand, Su Yingsu was stunned when she learned that Changsheng Group had canceled all cooperation. Su Yingsu sat in the chair, resting her chin on her hands, staring blankly ahead. Yingsu Beauty and Changsheng Group had always had a good working relationship. I don't know what got into Zhao Zilong, but he suddenly unilaterally broke off the cooperation, making a mess of her company. Could it be that this guy is trying to blackmail me with the cooperation? Su Yingsu suddenly thought of a possibility. She was aware of Zhao Zilong's persistence towards her, but she just didn't feel anything for him and even felt a bit disgusted by him. Moreover, she had subtly expressed her refusal, stating that the two were just ordinary friends. But Zhao Zilong was persistent, and what could she do? Now that Zhao Zilong has severed ties with her, Su Yingsu's first thought is that Zhao Zilong wants to use the partnership to force her to agree to be his girlfriend. Yingsu Beauty is her life's work. It has to be said that Zhao Zilong's move was really ruthless, but she will never compromise. She didn't believe Zhao Zilong would actually dare to bankrupt Yingsu Beauty. Before long, Zhao Zilong will call to apologize to her and beg her to sign the contract, just like he did when he sought to cooperate with her before. Yingsu, something terrible has happened. Qin Kexin rushed in a panic. Seeing Su Yingsu calmly drinking her coffee, Qin Kexin immediately snatched the coffee from Su Yingsu's hand and said urgently, "Yingsu, what time is it now? You're still drinking coffee. You mean Zhao Zilong canceled the cooperation? I know about it. It's not a big deal. He'll call to apologize later." "No, it's just that Changsheng sent us a notice demanding that we move out of the Zhenjin building within 2 days, or they will have the court enforce it." What? Upon hearing this, Su Yingsu panicked. The termination of cooperation might be a tactic Zhao Zilong used to force her to move out of the Vibranium building, but forcing her to move out of the building was likely a genuine move. "Kexin, he must have scared me too." Su Yingsu looked at Qin Kexin uncertainly. Qin Kexin looked at her best friend with complicated feelings, not knowing what to say. She was also unsure about Zhao Zilong's sudden attack. It's also unclear whether Zhao Zilong was serious or just faking it. If it's fake, Yingsu Beauty will only lose some money at most, and Zhao Dashao will send orders over later. But if it's real, it will undoubtedly be a catastrophe. Because of Zhao Zilong's sycophantic behavior over the years, all of Yingsu Beauty's stores are located within the Changsheng Group and are the best stores in Changsheng. The suppliers of raw materials are also more or less related to the Zhao family. Most importantly, none of the contracts signed between Changsheng Group and Yingsu Beauty have any penalty clauses for breach of contract. If the cooperation is terminated, Changsheng Group, being wealthy and powerful, will not be affected much. But this would be a devastating blow to Yingsu Beauty, especially since Yingsu Beauty's office building is still owned by Changsheng Group. If Changsheng Group turns against them, they won't even have a place to stay. If they can't rent office space in the short term, their only option is Su's real estate. But if Changsheng Group turns against them, Su's real estate will not be able to protect them at all. For Changsheng Group, eliminating a small company like Su's real estate would be a piece of cake. Given the Su family's nature, they are more likely to give Su Yingsu to Zhao Zilong in order to curry favor with the Zhao family. "No, I'll go ask Zhao Zilong myself." Chapter 27. What does it matter to me whether your company lives or dies? Buzzing tilde, Zhao Zilong turned on his vibrating phone and saw that the caller ID was Su Yingsu. He promptly hung up, blocked, and deleted the call. Su Yingsu, the woman who sucked his blood in her past life and ultimately joined forces with Lin Ye to fight him, is even more hateful than Lin Ye. Lin Ye can't kill her for now, but dealing with a mere Su Yingsu is a piece of cake. Secretary Liu, please organize the information on Su's real estate and send it to my email. "Okay, boss." Zhao Zilong nodded and continued processing the pile of documents accumulated by the group. "Damn it, how dare they hang up on me?" Su Yingsu angrily threw her phone to the ground. Seeing that Su Yingsu had failed to contact Zhao Zilong, Qin Kexin quickly suggested, "Yingsu, why don't we go look for the new office building first?" "No need for now, I'll go see for myself and see what Zhao Zilong is up to." Su Yingsu, in a fit of anger, flatly rejected Qin Kexin's suggestion. The building is small. Renting 1 or 2 floors of office space would be enough for Yingsu Beauty to operate normally. However, she has always used an entire office building. Suddenly being asked to work in an office building without even a private villa or swimming pool is such a huge change that she can't accept it. It is highly unlikely that she could restore the Vibranium building, which she had completely transformed, to its original state in just 2 days. They were friends, but Zhao Zilong's decision to stop cooperating immediately left her very disappointed. Qin Kexin hesitated for a few seconds before finally making a decision. "Okay. Kexin, you handle the company matters for now. I'll go to Changsheng to find Zhao Zilong." Qin Kexin nodded with difficulty. "Okay." After temporarily handing over company matters to Qin Kexin, Su Yingsu went downstairs, drove her red Ferrari, and sped towards Changsheng Group. After parking the car, Su Yingsu casually tossed the car keys to the security guard at the entrance and walked into Changsheng Group with elegance and confidence. Just as Su Yingsu was passing by the front desk, A young receptionist suddenly blocked her way. "Hello, ma'am, who are you looking for?" The receptionist asked politely. Su Yingsu frowned slightly, feeling somewhat displeased. However, considering that the other party was just an ordinary employee and might not know her, she suppressed her dissatisfaction and said stiffly, "My name is Su Yingsu. I'm looking for Zhao Zilong. Just tell me where he is." "I'm sorry, our general manager Zhao is very busy right now and doesn't have time to meet with guests. If you have anything to say, please let me know first, and I will pass it on to him." The receptionist politely stopped Su Yingsu. Upon hearing this, Su Yingsu's face instantly darkened. She glared at the arrogant little girl in front of her, a hint of coldness flashing in her eyes. "Do you know who I am?" Su Yingsu looked coldly at the receptionist, her voice carrying a clear threat. The receptionist still wore a professional fake smile. "Ma'am, our boss has instructed us that unauthorized personnel are not allowed to enter the company. If you would like to see our boss, please make an appointment in advance. If you know our boss, you can also call him and explain. If you're going to cause trouble, then I'll call security," the receptionist added with a smile. Hearing what the receptionist said, Su Yingsu felt a pain in her chest from anger, but she couldn't vent her anger at all. Su Yingsu wanted to call Zhao Zilong, but she had thrown away her phone at the company, and even if she borrowed a phone now, she wouldn't know Zhao Zilong's number. "Ma'am, the door is over there. If you're not busy, please don't disturb our work." The receptionist smiled and pointed to the building's main entrance not far away. "Of course, if you feel it's too hot outside, you can sit over there and cool off." The receptionist pointed to the free massage chairs on the other side of the lobby. Su Yingsu was so angry she couldn't speak. She never imagined that she, Su Yingsu, would one day be looked down upon by the lower classes for her yin-yang nature. "Ma'am, is there anything else I can help you with?" The receptionist smiled at Su Yingsu. Su Yingsu suppressed her anger and walked out of the Changsheng Group office building without looking back. "You sent someone to stop me, huh? Don't expect me to forgive you later." Su Yingsu stood angrily downstairs at the Changsheng Group building. He waited until 3:00 p.m., after which Zhao Zilong finished processing the important documents that had accumulated over the past few days. As soon as Zhao Zilong came downstairs, a familiar dark figure appeared in front of him. Suppressing her anger, Su Yingsu tried to maintain a relatively calm tone as she questioned, "Zhao Zilong, why did you suddenly terminate the cooperation?" "If I don't want to cooperate, I don't want to cooperate. I'm happy to do so." Zhao Zilong looked calmly at Su Yingsu. As the sole heir of the Zhao family, Zhao Zilong has perfect emotional control and is very rational in the face of everything. Su Yingsu looked at Zhao Zilong with a serious expression. "But we signed a 10-year contract. If you can't make money, of course you have to cut your losses in time." Zhao Zilong looked calmly at Su Yingsu. "But aren't we friends? Shouldn't friends help each other? I've paid you rent, how can you break the contract?" Su Yingsu acted as if it were all her due. Zhao Zilong chuckled self-deprecatingly. "Su Yingsu, ask yourself honestly, do you really consider me a friend? I'll rent the Zhenjin building, the best location in Shanghai's new district, to you at the lowest rent in Shanghai. I'll also rent you the best shops in Changsheng Shopping Mall at the lowest price. And the raw materials you need, Zhao's suppliers will sell them to you at cost price." "But what about you? What did you do to me?" Su Yingsu opened her mouth, wanting to make something up, but couldn't think of any way she had helped Zhao Zilong. After thinking for a while, Su Yingsu finally explained with a naive look, "But aren't we friends? You said at the beginning that you would help me realize my dream, and besides, I will definitely repay you in the future." Zhao Zilong laughed in anger. "Friend? Have you ever seen an ordinary friend give money to someone else? Think about it carefully. Even your parents can't do it, so why should an outsider be able to? You know what I originally wanted, and I know you don't want that, okay? Now I'm giving up, okay? Let's part ways amicably, okay? But you can't just suddenly stop the cooperation. What will happen to my company if you do that?" Su Yingsu looked stubbornly at Zhao Zilong. "Whether your company lives or dies is none of my business." Zhao Zilong gave Su Yingsu a look as if she were an idiot, then walked straight away. Su Yingsu stood there, stunned, watching Zhao Zilong's sports car drive away, a hint of resentment rising in her heart. "Zhao Zilong, even without you, my Yingsu beauty salon won't collapse. You wait, I'll make you regret this." Su Yingsu secretly vowed in her heart. One day, Su Yingsu will definitely become the leader of the cosmetics industry in China, making that bastard Zhao Zilong regret it. She will show Zhao Zilong through her actions that even without him, she can carve out a path for herself in the cosmetics industry in Shanghai and even the world. Chapter 28, Suppressing the Yi and Su Families. Zhao Zilong rubbed his temples, looking at the intelligence report from his subordinates. Lin Yi hasn't been released from the police station yet. The reason is that Lin Yi did not pay for his purchase yesterday, and the two parties failed to reach a settlement. Lin Yi is still in jail. Lin Yi accused the Witch Foot Bath of being a shady establishment that stole his luggage, and stated that he would not pay and had no money to pay. The Witch Foot Bath presented surveillance footage to show that the loss of Lin Yi's belongings was not the Witch Foot Bath's fault, but Lin Yi had to pay his bills in full, or they would take legal action. Lin Yi's sack and clothes were recovered, and his money and belongings were not lost. However, Lin Yi claimed that his 10 marriage certificates were missing. The law enforcement officers took it as a joke and did not pay much attention to it. I didn't expect Lin Yi to still be here. Zhao Zilong sighed inwardly. That makes sense, though. In this life, Lin Yi has just arrived in Shanghai. He doesn't have any connections or even know anyone. How could anyone possibly pay off his debts or vouch for his release? But Zhao Zilong knew clearly that the Law Enforcement Bureau couldn't hold Lin Yi, and that Lin Yi would definitely be able to get out of the Law Enforcement Bureau soon. Zhao Zilong opened his phone's notes app and found the key event he did in the original storyline when he came to Shanghai, going to the Yi family to announce the engagement, a strategic retreat. Although Lin Yi is in jail, such a crucial event is bound to happen. However, since Lin Yi doesn't have a marriage certificate now, there's a high probability that it won't be recognized. This doesn't actually have much impact. In the original storyline, when Lin Yi went to the Yi family with the marriage certificate, the Yi family didn't want to acknowledge it and even tried to send Lin Yi away with some money. It just so happened that Old Master Yi was having an attack, which allowed Lin Yi to successfully put on a show and gain Old Master Yi's approval. Lin Yi is still in the police station and hasn't been able to go to the Yi family, so he hasn't triggered any arguments within the Yi family. Old Master Yi hasn't gotten so angry that he suffered a stroke or his old illness relapsed. Zhao Zilong didn't care about Yi Zijing, that little brat. If he wanted to deal with Lin Yi, the leading lady, all he needed to do was bankrupt the Yi family. Yi Zijing, this little brat who's only in college, didn't really help Lin Yi much in the original storyline. To put it bluntly, Yi Zijing was just a sidekick, letting Lin Yi go to Shanghai University to show off and meet a few girls. It's not very effective. Zhao Zilong was too lazy to bother with any strategy. If all else failed, he would just slap the enemy to death. Right after we finished eating, Secretary Liu sent over the Su family's information. In the original storyline, Su Yingsu is Lin Yi's third female lead, an aloof CEO. Unlike Yi Zijing, Su Yingsu is involved with Zhao Zilong, a major villain in the later stages of the story, and has a real grudge against him. Su family real estate. Zhao Zilong tapped the table. Uncle Fu. Young master, what is it? Uncle Fu stood respectfully to the side. Uncle Fu, send someone to give the Su family a warning, and it would be best if the Su family were to fall apart. Yes, young master, I'll arrange for someone to handle it right away, Uncle Fu replied calmly. Uncle Fu turned to leave when Zhao Zilong's voice rang out again. Wait a minute, Uncle Fu, there's one more thing. Uncle Fu stopped and turned around. Young master, do you have any other requests? And that Yi family, take care of them too. Yes, young master, Uncle Fu replied expressionlessly. The Yi family and the Su family are just two second-rate families. If they offend the young master, they should just disappear. Just then, Zhao Zilong's phone rang. He looked at it, and sure enough, it was his mother calling. Son, are you all right? Did something happen? Zhao's mother's worried voice came through the phone. It's all right, Mom, don't worry. I've let it go. I'm not going to fawn over her anymore. That woman, Su Yingsu, isn't worth it, Zhao Zilong explained with a smile. It's good that he's all right. It's good that he's all right. Hearing that her son was all right, Zhao's mother on the other end of the line breathed a sigh of relief. 5 years ago, Zhao Zilong suddenly fell in love with Su Yingsu at first sight, and nothing could change his mind, no matter how much his mother tried to persuade him. In the end, Zhao's mother had no choice but to compromise and let Zhao Zilong do whatever he wanted. Now that her son has finally regained consciousness, Zhao's mother is very happy, and Zhao's father, who is standing beside her, finally has a relieved smile on his face. You little rascal, you're not getting any younger. Come back sometime and I'll find you a marriage partner. Let's try to get a new bride for the Zhao family next year. Zhao's mother quickly snatched back her phone and glared at Zhao's father. Son, don't listen to your dad's nonsense. I'll introduce you to a few girls from good families. Get to know them and see if you like any of them. Aren't they the same? Zhao's father retorted. What do you mean the same? Yours is an arranged marriage. Mine is introducing a partner to my son. They are completely different. Mom, I know what I'm doing about the wedding. I have things to do right now, so I'll hang up now. I'll come back to see you in a couple of days. With that, Zhao Zilong quickly hung up the phone. Goodness, is he being pressured to get married? It's like one problem after another. Lin Yi hasn't even resolved his issues yet, so how can he have time to think about marriage? If we're going to consider it, we should kill Lin Yi, our natural adversary, first. It's all your fault. You rushed me too much and scared Zilong, that's why he hung up. Zhao's mother gently punched Zhao's father's shoulder twice, sounding reproachful. It was you who said you'd introduce that brat to a blind date. That scared him away. Mr. Zhao muttered under his breath. Though his voice was low, Mrs. Zhao still heard him. Zhao's mother looked at Zhao's father with an unfriendly gaze, a hint of displeasure flashing in her eyes. Seeing that things were going badly, Zhao's father quickly assured him, "Wife, I was indeed too hasty just now and scared our son. I promise I will never do it again." Seeing that Zhao's father was remorseful, Zhao's mother's expression gradually softened. "You don't need to get involved in this matter. I'll ask my dad later to see if any of his friends have a suitable girl for Zilong. Then I'll leave it to you, madam." Zhao's father quickly